Here.
Including Tony, who is high in Taylorsville right now.
Taylorsville?
He wake and bake in Taylorsville.
Oh.
Good luck, Tony.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Because?
On this day, in 2001, believe it or not, that song started a 2-week run at number one on the charts. Afro Man, Because I Got High.
All right, I want you to consider this. Consider these lyrics in this song. I messed up my entire life because I got high. I lost my kids and wife because I got high. Now I'm sleeping on the sidewalk and I know why, because I got high. And then I want you to listen to this from Wikipedia. Because I Got High is a comedy hip-hop song.
Doesn't sound very...
It's
No.
It's a cautionary tale.
That's what I said. A comedy hip-hop song by American rapper Afro Man.
I mean, he's kind of laughing through
The
it.
lyrics humorously describe how cannabis use is degrading the narrator's quality of life. I don't know. Has Afro Man done anything else much besides that?
I don't think so.
Let me look here.
Has he needed to?
Does he have an Afro Man house?
No. He needs to. He's been arrested on several occasions.
Yes, he has. He's
Assault cases. He's been sued many times. His home has been raided. He's been charged with drug trafficking.
Oh,
and
that's
on and
right.
on and on.
Wasn't he? That now I remember.
Yeah.
Some kind of political.
Yeah.
What is? It's right there. It's right on the tip of my brain.
Let's see. 7 police officers from Adams County Sheriff's Office sued Afro Man, alleging that his use of their personas from the video of the raid
that's it.
Oh, he used it in a music video.
was an invasion of the officer's privacy. Afro Man tried to get the case dismissed. The court dismissed the claim that he improperly used the officer's likenesses for commercial purposes, but let the claim that he defamed and placed the officers in a false light to go to trial. And
That was it.
Oh, and he announced his candidacy for president in 2022. 2024. That
Oh, he's running.
yeah.
That was it. I don't remember
Oh.
seeing Afro Man on my ballot.
Was he a write-in?
I didn't see him.
I didn't see the Afro Man sign next to the Kennedy sign that I drove past this
No.
morning.
So there you, Afro Man. He's not doing much these days. He's trying to stay out of trouble.
We had tragedy. We had Grateful Dead tragedy over the weekend.
Phil Lesh from Grateful Dead.
The bass player.
He was pretty old, wasn't he? Let's see.
Late 70s?
Yeah. Don't forget Mimi Hines,
Who's Mimi Hines?
Phil Ford's wife.
Who's
Phil
Phil
Ford. Phil Ford and Mimi Hines.
I don't know who either of those people are.
Friend of yours?
She died at 91.
Who is that?
They were Broadway entertainers, and she
Theater people care.
Oh.
she was and they were on TV a lot in the 60s. Phil Ford and Mimi Hines, sort of comedy singing and all of that stuff. Who else? Somebody else died as well. Let's see here.
Jerry Taylor, who wrote a lot of Star Trek episodes.
Yep. Let's see. Phil Lesh. I had one other, I thought.
Was there another tragedy?
Well, maybe not. I was just so overcome with Mimi Hines.
I mean, it's not a musical tragedy, but the guy from the Warriors died.
Oh, yeah. Cochise.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I thought I saved that. Oh, there it is. No,
but not a musical.
no.
No.
That's weird. I thought I'd saved that. Oh yeah, there it is. David Harris, actor in The Warriors, dies at 75.
The Grateful Dead is one of those bands I don't get.
I don't get it either. I tried. I really tried.
You know what? I didn't get it either until
You should have got it. Those are your people, aren't
until,
they?
Your people.
until I had. No, Gina, I'm a Fish fan. Come on, I'm a the spring cheese incident follower. No, I didn't get it until I had Sirius, XM satellite radio in my car for a while, and I somehow lit on the Grateful Dead channel. And they played nothing but Grateful Dead stuff. If you listen, when you get into it, they're very, very talented musicians, and they do all kinds of styles. Like there's a lot of jazz stuff in there. There's sort of country tinge stuff. There's rock stuff.
I mean, how do you know when it's over?
Gina,
Everybody goes home. Everybody goes home.
Don't worry. You'll know it's over when we tell you.
Okay, just
We'll tell you when it's over. Don't worry.
kinda runs together and
You worry about the strangest things. How do you know when it's over?
time to go?
Honey, come on, let's go. Come on.
I honestly tried.
Why? Was there a girl? There must have been a girl.
No,
You felt obligated.
I liked the symbolism, the skulls and everything and all that. And I went, I wonder what this is. And so I listened to it. And then my friend Steve Linsky says, hey, they're coming to town. We should go and see the Dead.
Okay.
I went, okay, I'll go. And yeah, those people were having a great time. But, the guys up on the stage were just kind of dicking around, I thought, I had a good time there. It wasn't because of the music. I had a good time at the party.
Okay.
As opposed to enjoying the music. So.
Well, if you listen, I'm telling you, if you really get into listening to the,
I have several albums over there, that I bought trying to get into it, and I just went,
Well,
okay.
all right.
I just-
I have no albums from by then. String Cheese Incident now. Is that what it's called? Is it that?
Yeah.
That's one of the sort of similar jam band kind
band.
of people follow them around. Fish, String Cheese Incident.
Would you
there's
have
another
followed anybody
No.
around? Is
No.
there any band you loved enough
No.
that you would follow around?
I loved that. To me, following a band around and really loving a band, that doesn't necessarily go together for me. I can really, really like a band and not have to go follow them around.
Who's the band you have seen the most times? You're going to say Primus because we've had them
Probably that. Yeah, I
at
mean,
every show. For
yeah,
30
and
years.
they were always entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't, just nothing comes to mind specifically,
Yeah.
and I don't, and I don't, like for instance, that the time I went to see Lou Reed, it was the only time I'd ever seen him, and I wished that I had gone to seen
Yeah.
more Lou Reed concerts.
While you had the chance.
Yeah. But I never, I don't know. I just never have felt compelled to, go see a band every time they come to town, or just not.
I mean, like I've never seen Bruce Springsteen, and I'm not like a big Bruce Springsteen fan, but I think I would like to see Bruce Springsteen.
And my guess is you would love it.
Yeah.
Did you watch that Disney Plus?
I haven't
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
it. I
yeah.
haven't watched it yet. Apparently, it's really
I
good.
got about
Yeah.
3/4 into it.
Somebody, a critic said, Gene, and you'll like this, said there was a Frank Sinatra big, concert when Frank was 75 years old, and it was like his big final
Yeah.
concert. Frank's 75, obviously bored. Frank Sinatra was obviously bored. Bruce Springsteen, 75, not bored in the slightest.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was some farting around.
Sure.
I'd say, yeah.
This has been Farting Around with Carrie, Bill, and Gina on X96, Radio from Hell.
All right, we'll take a break here. I thought we're going to play the Grateful Dead because our intern Elwood is helping out here today. And
Tanner?
he's what's his name?
Tanner.
Yeah, that guy. To me, he'd be the
Big,
to me he'd
big
be
Grateful Dead fan.
to me he would be the kind of guy. The guy. Would you be the kind of guy that would follow the Dead around if you could? Yeah. Yes, he would. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and take your check-ins. 877-602-9696 is the number. 877-602-9696. You can also text us if you like. That would be 33986.
6.
All right, it's 6:19. Let's get this over with.
Yeah, let's. Maybe you have some comments on the Grateful Dead. Maybe you're a dead head. 877-602-9696. That's the number to call. Check in with the Radio from Hell show. We'd like to hear from you in the morning. Anything you want to say, or say hello or good morning or just anything. You can also text us at 33986. Do we have a sponsor to begin?
I could be saying the name of your business right now. That could be what you're hearing on the radio.
Yeah. Okay. So no. There's no sponsor. All right. The moon is 13.8% of full, a waning crescent moon. The moon will set today at 4:53 p.m., today being Monday. It's the 28th day of October in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ 2024. It's International Animation Day. It's Chucks and Pearls Day. Have any idea why it's Chucks and Pearls Day?
I don't know.
Chuck Taylor's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chucks and Pearls. Why do you think?
Was it Kamala's birthday?
No, it's not her birthday.
But it's Kamala.
It just has to do with Kamala Harris, the first female vice president of the United States, known for wearing Converse sneakers and a pearl necklace. And somebody said, let's have a Chucks and Pearl Day.
Okay.
So they do. National Chocolate Day and National Immigrants Day. And this is the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio. It's Kerry Jackson. I'm not a deadhead. I'm Bill Allred. That's Gina Barberi over there. We'll let you know when it's time to go home, Gina.
Thank you.
Katie for short is our producer, and we have a helper today. It's what's his name?
Tanner.
Alwyn. Alwyn.
It's Tanner.
It's Tanner?
Always been Tanner.
Tanner, huh? Okay, if you say so. Looks like an Alwyn to me.
National Chocolate Day?
Yes, sir.
We shall expect you downstairs for chocolate in not more than 5 minutes.
All right.
That's a good demand, isn't it?
Yes, it
Not
is.
more than 5 minutes.
Get down here for chocolate now.
Let's see.
Do we have any phone calls?
I don't know. Maybe the phones aren't working. You never know.
Yeah, so test our phones for us. 877-602-9696.
You never know on a Monday. Things happen over the weekend.
Yeah. Let's see. Perry City listener checking in. Perfect way to start my kids' Red Ribbon Week off.
Yes.
Thanks for the laugh.
Is that an
drugs.
anti-drug
It's
deal?
the drugs.
It's the drugs. Let's see.
I was
Derek,
going to call and check in, but then I got high, Scott of Sandy said.
Derek from Lehigh checking in. Right Wing Wade. Just want to wish my husband a happy 14-year anniversary from Dovetail Heather.
Aw.
Farrell Fergal of Rose Park. Quality farting around this morning. Zane of Dallas checking in. It's still summertime down here. Where is spring?
It's not going to happen, Zane.
Let's see. Lane in Morgan. Nothing like a Monday morning with a cold at work. Not fun at all.
No.
You shouldn't be at work if
Stay
you have
home.
a cold.
Yeah, stay home. Things have changed.
You just go passing that stuff around. All right. Let's see. Johnny B checking in. Listening while enjoying some yummy cold peach pie for breakfast.
Just pop that in the microwave.
Yeah.
Warm it up a little bit.
A little ice cream.
He's just too excited to get to it. I know that feeling.
I will be getting high this morning, doing masonry on some scaffolding.
Taylor there on line 1 is in Bountiful.
Let's see.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, Taylor, hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good,
I
thanks.
heard you guys you were worried the phones don't work, so
Well, our phone works.
It sounds to me like you're calling from outer space, so that's good.
oh, I do apologize. I was told last time. I forgot to do it this time. I'm sorry.
I
It was off my
appreciate that you're helping us
Yeah.
test our phone.
Yeah, thanks for doing that,
Thanks,
Taylor.
Taylor.
Where are you headed right now?
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Let's see. Mike in Nashville checking in. Gina, what's up with our Utes?
Just
Listen,
Not good? Not good this weekend?
Gina, here's what you need to do.
What?
You need to start rooting for a school that somebody in your family graduated from. You need to so your husband graduated from school in Kansas, right?
No. He did his undergrad at the U,
Where
and
did
then
he
he
get
got
Kansas
his
City?
doctorate at Oregon.
So why Kansas City then? Oh,
He was born in Kansas.
there's okay. So you need to focus. There it is. You need to focus on Kansas City only. Just focus on them. Don't.
I am not a fair weather fan. I am with you.
Oh. Amy Donaldson will come in here.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll explain it. She'll be here at 7. Dan of Evanston checking in. Finally have a heater in my garage. Ooh, look at you. A heater in your garage.
That means he does work in his garage. I don't need a heater in my garage because I don't spend.
Well, you want to keep the Black Widows nice and toasty,
nice
though,
and
don't you?
toast.
Some sort of elite, I'd say.
There's
Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Hi.
How are you this morning?
Doing pretty good. I have a joke today.
Okay.
Good. Go ahead.
What did the number 0 say to the number 8?
I don't know, Lily. What did the number 0 say to the number 8?
Nice belt.
What?
Because an 8 is...
Nice belt.
Nice belt.
It's like a 0.
Oh!
It's like a 0, but it's wearing a belt.
I see. Here's a joke for you, Lily. 2 penguins sitting on an ice floe, and one penguin says to the other, "You look like you're wearing a tuxedo." And the other penguin said, "Who's to say I'm not?"
Ah, that's not really a joke. That's like a. That's like
Kind of a Zen koan,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
All right, Lily. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
Have a good day at school,
Yeah.
Lily.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see. Caffeinated butt mask of Provo checking in.
Caffeinated
you.
butt mask.
Thank you.
Good morning, Lords. Rye from Orem checking in.
I'm still puzzled by that.
Dawson from the most west of Jordans.
Morning, Dawson.
Listening while using my dog as a compression blanket.
Okay.
Tim the Tree Guy checking in. Pittsburgh listener Mauricio checking in. Since there's no VIS today, Carlos Sainz of Spain won the F1 race. Lando Norris of Britain came in second. Charlie Lecter of Monaco came in third. Cartoonish supervillain and Pumpkin King Verstappen was a lowly sixth
Oh, good.
Wow.
after taking penalties during the race.
That's good news.
Tristan from the most west of Jordans checking in. Sketchy Blake of Ogden, Cardboard Chris. Sid says, I have to go to a science conference that I feel incredibly out of place at. For a tiny protest, I'm wearing jeans and Converse.
Good job, Sid.
Don't feel out of place.
You belong there.
Yeah.
You're smart.
Woodworker Willie checking in. Metal Shop Mark in Tooele. Kirsty of Pleasant Grove about to make some coffee to start the week off. That's a good idea. All right, traffic, Gina, please.
Oh, and you should be starting the week off pretty good. I only have one thing to tell you about as far as UDOT's concerned. Crash eastbound 2100 North, 23rd West in Utah County. Nobody's texted any traffic incidents in this morning so far, but please, Infiniteam, let us know what you're seeing out there on the roads. 33986.
All right. We will take a break. We'll play a song for you. And after that song, well, it's Big Boy News. And Frank Christ presents They're Fine, They're Just Fine, the Dead Celebrity Game. Then at 7 o'clock, Amy Donaldson with sports. Stand by for...
Oh, yesterday we had a murder desk
Oh, is
An inquiry.
inquiry.
would this be a,
Yes.
a morsel of
Oh,
murder?
yes.
Okay.
And now, a morsel of murder with Gina Barberi. Radio from Hell on X96.
So we had a friend of the program from Arizona call and was asking about this trial for Karen Reed. And I had
Where
read
is this?
about it. It is in Massachusetts. I'd read about it, and I had made some assumptions about it. But I promised our friend of the program I would do a deeper dive. Here we go.
All right.
With its bombshell revelations and myriad twists, the Karen Reed murder trial has been a wild ride for anyone keeping tabs on the sensational Boston area case. Reed, 44, is accused of backing her Lexus SUV into her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in the early morning hours of January 29, 2022, while intoxicated and leaving him to die in the snow, prosecutors allege. Reed and her lawyers claim something else happened at the house party where she dropped O'Keefe off that night. O'Keefe was allegedly beaten up by someone there with whom he had a long-standing dispute. Reed's defense argues she's the victim of a massive cover-up among local and state law enforcement community. So, For months, diehard supporters on both sides have gathered each day. This has been a huge trial, apparently, picking sides there. So, O'Keefe's injuries were consistent with being hit by a car. Especially his two weren't consistent with being hit by a car. Okay. He had 2 black eyes and deep claw-like marks found on his right arm, her lawyers allege. Now, when she was arrested, she was heard saying, "Did I hit him? Did I hit him?" So that's why people were thinking, and I was thinking, that she backed over him and killed him. But they're saying that his injuries not consistent with being run over by police. Attorneys believe that O'Keefe may have been attacked by a dog at the home of retired Boston police officer Brian Albert, who hosted the gathering that night. Further fueling the theory that of a police cover-up, Reed's lawyers claim there's a series of alleged butt dials between people who were at the party. Butt dials, but there were texts that said
butt texts
that said things like, "Tell them the guy never went into the house." And also Google searches for things like, how long does it take somebody to die when they're out in the cold?
Well,
now who was making those searches?
The police officers that were inside this house party.
I see.
How long does it take at 2 a.m. They're texting or they're Googling, how long does it take?
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
So,
if they were probably playing a trivia game of some sort.
Yeah, so it's...
So our caller was correct.
I think there is some shenanigans here.
They're probably not going to be able to convict her of a crime.
If there are text messages saying, we'll say he was never here, and how long does it take somebody to die in the cold? That's
why haven't they thrown the case out?
Well,
Can't they do that?
I mean, they're in the middle of the trial.
Can't they just say, you know what, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're going to stop here?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think you can.
It's a circus. I'll keep Murder Desk will keep following this. I was only briefly paying attention to it, but now I will pay closer attention.
It has your full attention.
But would you agree with the caller that it looks as though they're probably not going to be able to convict her?
Well, probably not. Yeah. I mean, those text messages are super suspicious.
Murder.
I still maintain they could very easily have been playing Trivial Pursuit, and one of the the cop version of Trivial Pursuit, and one of the questions, how long does it take a person?
See, now you're thinking like a defense lawyer, Bill. That's
look. We were having we had a bet going.
I bet it takes when there's a guy dying in your driveway.
Yeah, Google it and see.
He'll be fine for another 10 minutes. No, I'm telling you. Yeah.
It's murder, he says.
So yeah, feel free to alert me to stories I might not be covering. You can email them to me, gene@x96.com.
All right. Thank you very much. Because it's been 11 years.
Since Lou Reed died?
Mm-hmm.
That long, huh?
Yep. Dirty Boulevard. Okay, 6:33 right now. We've got a full-strength Big Boy News and a Pinuendo here. Right after that, Frank Christ presents They're Fine, They're Just Fine, the Dead Celebrity Game. Going to give you a list of 4 celebrities. 3 of those celebrities are just fine. one of them dead. You pick the dead one correctly, you will win.
Tickets to see Dayglow November 6th at the Union with special guests Teenage Dads. Tickets are on sale now at x96.com. You can go there for details and ticket links.
We just played a commercial for that. So, get those concert tickets at 877-602-9696 by playing Frank Christ Presents. It's easy to play. You will win if you play. Pretty sure. 877-602-9696. Big Boy News now brought to you by...
At Big O Tires Fall Into Savings Sale, they've got big for their customers. Come into any one of the locally owned and operated locations in Utah and save up to $120 on select sets of 4 in-stock tires now through November 3rd. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Gerard Depardieu will not attend his trial on charges of sexual assault related to events on the set of the film The Green Shutters in 2021, which is due to kick off in Paris on Monday afternoon. The trial, not the movie, I believe. The French actor's lawyer, Jérémy Assus, said that the Green Card and Cyrano de Bergerac star had been advised against attending the hearings in person for health reasons, and that the actor was seeking a postponement. Remember that movie, Green Card?
Yeah.
It was a romantic pairing with what's her
Andy
name?
McDowell.
Andy McDowell. How in the world did that happen?
I don't know.
Gerard Depardieu is extremely affected, and unfortunately his doctors have forbidden him from appearing at the hearing, said Assus in an interview with the RTL in France. The actor is being tried on charges of sexual assault committed against 2 women on the set of the film The Green Shutters. The trial is being viewed as a test case for the hashtag #MeToo movement in France, with the media backlash against the star, who is hailed as one of the country's greatest actors, dividing the local film industry. The hearing comes less than a week after another high-profile hashtag #MeToo trial in which French actor and director Nicolas Bedos was sentenced to 1 year in prison with 6 months suspended after being found guilty of sexually assaulting 2 women in separate incidents in 2023. He denies the charges and is appealing the verdict and the sentence. This is kind of a big deal in France, too, because there's a sort of different attitude about this kind of thing, which modern Parisians or more forward-thinking Parisians are trying, and French people are trying to change this attitude.
The excuse of he's just French doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah. I mean, there is a certain amount of that. All right, we're going to go to the crime desk now with our crime reporter, Gina Barberi. A chilling story about a woman who locked her lover in a suitcase.
Oh! Sarah Boone, the woman accused of killing her boyfriend by zipping him in a suitcase, is standing trial, finally. Over 4 years after her boyfriend, Jorge Torres Jr., died, Boone took the stand during a court appearance and recalled that they were playing a game of hide and seek. Won't that be fun? Like grown-ups do all the time, don't they? Play hide and seek. Boone said during the game she ran upstairs to hide in the shower, and she waited for quite some time. Like, well, where is he? I don't know where he is. Then she decided to start wrapping up the evening and getting ready for bed. Because when you're playing hide and seek and your boyfriend doesn't come find you, you just go, well, I guess I'll get ready for bed.
Who's going to tell me when it's over?
She went downstairs to look for him, and she saw him settling himself into a suitcase, adding that he was trying to get himself flat so I couldn't see that he was in there. He said, why don't you finish zipping me up? So I zipped him up. We thought it was funny, and I started pulling him around the house.
Sure.
You know.
Like you do.
Like you do. Now, she was taking video while she was doing this.
Okay.
And in the video, this did not look like they were playing. She was yelling at him about how he's always treated her horribly, and she's not going to put up with it anymore. And she said, I'm leaving you in there because this is the only way you'll have to listen to me if you're in there.
Okay.
And then he kept trying to get his hand out, like trying to work, and she had a baseball bat and get it back in. It was he died of positional asphyxiation, because he was crunched in the suitcase.
He couldn't breathe.
He couldn't breathe. She's still trying to pass it off like, no, we were playing a game.
Well, the next time my wife asks me if I want to play hide and seek, I'm going to say no.
No.
5 people were injured, with one being transported in critical condition following an electrical explosion in West Valley City Saturday morning. West Valley City Fire says that the explosion happened around 9:15 as a contracted electrical company was working on a transformer outside of a building located near 4800 West, 2400 South. What's called a flash explosion and an electrical flash, and they've been noted to be thousands of degrees. It's just a quick flash and then out, and there's no burning. There's nothing other than that quick burst of heat and energy, and it really can, cause damage and kill people. There were reports of a flash indicating an electrical explosion. However, there was no fire caused by the explosion. By the time emergency crews arrived on the scene, 5 people injured were all working on the transformer at the time, and one of them is in critical condition. All of them had burns of burns of one kind or another, just from this one brief, this burst of energy. And my guess is it sent them flying as well. Pretty powerful stuff. Cache County, some homes had to be evacuated up in Cache County because there was buried military ordnance
really?
on a property there, on a person's property. After responding, deputies confirmed that the object's appearance suggested it could be military ordnance, and they notified Hill Air Force Base. Deputies evacuated nearby homes as a precaution as the Hill Air Force Base explosive ordnance disposal team came to the scene to manage the items' safe removal and disposal. Residents were asked to avoid the immediate area in the meantime. No word here as to why it was there. It was determined. Oh, here it says it was determined to be inert, so it would not have been dangerous. But why was it there?
Yeah.
Why did somebody bury a piece of ordnance of one kind or another in their yard? Just who knows. Well, I subjected myself to this. I'm not quite sure why, but it was fascinating. I listened to all 3 hours of Donald J. Trump on Joe Rogan's podcast.
You gave 3 hours of your time to Joe Rogan?
Well, I was doing other things.
Oh, okay.
I was listening to it with my earbuds on and doing other things around the house while I did it. Donald Trump taped a nearly 3-hour episode of the Joe Rogan Experience on Friday. He courted the show's young male audience by floating the idea of eliminating the income tax, talking about mixed martial arts fighters, praising the military skills of General Robert E. Lee, the guy who led the Confederacy, and speculating that there was no reason to think that could be life on Mars. So Joe Rogan started asking him about, have you seen the secret military documents about Area 54? Have you seen their secret documents about the UFOs and stuff? Yes, I've seen some of that. I started to read into it. I looked at about half of it.
No, you didn't.
No, because you can't read.
Well, what do they say? He says, I can't really go. I don't want to go into it right now. Some of it's still considered sort of secret. But when I become president,
you said you'd do that before.
I'll release all of that. And then he said, Joe says, do you think there's extraterrestrial life? Is there life out there? Are there aliens? He says, there's no reason to think that there couldn't be. There could be life on Mars. There could be aliens on Mars right now. This is the only time I heard Joe Rogan push back against him. Well, no, it's kind of been proven that there isn't any life currently on Mars.
We have live cameras up there now.
And there might have been life on Mars at one time. There seems to be good evidence for that, but we'll just have to send somebody up there to find out.
Well, and he did start to wade into was the election stolen thing, and Trump was like, "Oh, we have evidence," and Joe Rogan said, "Oh, well, when are you going to show that to?
What is the evidence?
What is it? When are you going to show it to? Mm-hmm. So he pushed back a little bit.
I wouldn't call that pushing back.
Hardly. Yeah.
He said, okay, well, let's talk about it. And Trump sidestepped that every single time.
It's a weave, Bill. I call that the weave.
Yes, the weave. Rogan acknowledged that he had rethought his position on interviewing Trump after he survived an assassination attempt in July at a rally in Pennsylvania. Once they shot you, I was like, well, he's got to come here. It's all about the timing. What I heard was a bro, Joe Rogan, interviewing a person who was so self-inflated,
Mm-hmm.
so full of himself, so unable to admit any weakness, so full of misinformation that I couldn't believe. They talked about crime statistics. You know how the statistics, it shows you that crime has been shooting through the roof.
Not true.
Not true.
Which is absolutely not true. Crime is down in most cases. Joe Rogan said, well, unreported crime. That's gone through the roof.
Well, that's
Unreported
unreported.
crime.
That's what's gone. Oh, okay.
Unreported crime has gone
stuff
through
that
the
we
roof.
can't prove.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So there you go.
How do you know it's unreported?
Well,
How do you know it's happening?
Well,
if
there's-
it's not reported.
I can tell.
I asked that
You know?
to my son, and he had a good explanation for that. Actually,
What?
he said you can go look at police reports, and you can interview people, and you can say, "Well, this crime happened to me." Well, you didn't report it? No, I didn't. Why didn't you report it? And so there are statistics about that, but it seems a long way to go.
It's a long way to go.
It was, but it was it was sort of sad to listen to because I just
sad.
Yeah.
because
Because the
there-
number one podcast.
And it was sad to me because there are people who have great, who are smart.
Yeah.
There are smart people out there who still listen to that and think that's my guy.
I have former friends who that's their guy.
You know,
and that's the reason they're my former friends.
Spencer Cox is not a stupid person. Spencer Cox, our governor, is a very bright guy, as a matter of fact.
He's easily manipulated.
But whatever.
Okay.
He's a smart guy. And yet he can say, I will vote for that for president.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Don't understand it, frankly. Let's see, of course, we're preparing for Election Day with bulletproof glass and
like you do.
barricades at some polling places.
Like we've done for years, right?
Costco has recalled a lot of you shop at Costco. So if you have Rana, I think it's the brand name, Rana chicken products, or Kirkland smoked salmon products, they're all being recalled. Costco said there may be we haven't had any reports of any illness, but
They're getting out ahead of something.
yeah, they're trying to get ahead of it. You know what the most consumed item NFL players, the food stuff that they eat? What do you think most NFL players, what's the thing that most of them eat and all the time? Uncrustables. Uncrustables.
Now that's not what they're eating in their private life. They have them on hand at practice and stuff. That's
Weekly uncrustable consumption across the NFL. It is astonishing how many of these things these NFL players
What
eat.
do they have against crust?
I don't
I
know.
was told the crust is where the,
makes
the
your hair
good stuff is.
It makes your hair curly. If you want to have curly hair, you eat crust. That's what my grandma always said. It is amazing there, and so they've done a breakdown of which teams eat the most Uncrustables. Looks like the Minnesota Vikings are way up there. So there is that, and then finally this story. Gina, I thought this was interesting, and see if you agree with this.
Okay.
It's according to a new trend of gentle parenting. You should never say to your kids, you should never say, "I'm so proud of you."
Why not?
Never say that.
Why?
I thought, why? But the way they describe it, the Rethink of Old Habits has hit the spotlight after a recent video went viral of Taylor Wolf, a mom, instructing the boomer grandmother not to say, "I'm so proud of you" to her grandchild. That's putting the focus on you, Wolf explained in the clip. What you should say to the child is, "You should be so proud of yourself." And I thought, well, that makes sense.
I mean, you could say both things.
Yeah.
I am proud of you, and you should also be proud
Sure.
of
You should be so proud of yourself for doing it.
Yeah.
The change in phrasing instills a child's confidence in their own choices and behaviors rather than relying on validation from their, parents or grandparents.
That's a video that's been going around recently, and it's funny, but it's there's little things like, don't say to your kids, "Be careful," when they're climbing on something, because they're not going to. Oh, right, I'll be careful. Just like.
Hey, what should you say? Are you aware of the danger you're putting yourself in right now?
Be careful.
You know, if you look down right now, calculate how far it is from there to the pavement.
I mean, that is kind of what they're getting at, is just saying to somebody to be careful. Like,
yeah,
it's be more specific about it. Like, what does that mean? Be careful. Well, you're climbing on something.
Yeah,
I'm baffled by all of this.
Yeah.
Well, Carrie, you don't have kids.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Use your best judgment.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
You're aware you're up high. Be careful. That covers it all.
Yeah.
Be careful is fine.
And I think it's fine to say you're proud of your kids. I think your kids want to hear that. But you can also say you should be so proud of yourself. But I think your kids want to hear that you're proud of them.
Sure they do.
You should be proud of yourself. You know that I'm proud of you, but you should really be proud of yourself. So be careful. All right, that's it.
No sports, because we got Amy Donaldson coming in.
Yeah.
Weather, traffic.
Well, it's feeling more and more like fall. We're going to have 63 for a high today, about a 20% chance of rain. Better chance overnight tonight, 80% chance. And it gets pretty cold, 36 for the overnight low. In fact, so cold that they're saying tomorrow morning could have a rain-snow mix.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
And we should have that, let's see, Tuesday into Wednesday. Then we dry out a little bit Wednesday night. But then there's another round of storms expected Thursday. This is how it's supposed to be in the fall. Highs in the, not getting above 45 tomorrow. Quite cold tomorrow. And overnight lows in the 30s. Traffic, let me refresh this. I haven't had anything reported by UDOT in about an hour, so I'm going to assume most of that is cleaned up. Friend of the program says crash southbound I-15 at the on-ramp, milepost 343 in Ogden. And whatever you're seeing on the roads, I need your help letting me know. Text it to us, 33986.
Frank, hi.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Frank Christ is here. Oh. Frank, the Grim Reaper, the Reaper of Celebrity Souls. I didn't see you come in today for some reason.
Well, I just, yeah.
Sometimes you peer behind me, which is kind of odd.
It's part of the training.
It's called looming training, right?
Yes. It's part of the, Reapers, we have to attend school, and that's some of the skills they teach us.
You have to take looming lessons. Frank Christ, the Reaper of Celebrity Souls, specifically. That's his specialty, and it hurts him very much to have to do it.
I know I should be proud of myself, but...
No, I'm proud of you, Frank. How about that? I'm proud of you.
I wonder, Frank, when you took David Harris...
The guy who was in The Warriors.
Did you say, Warriors? Did you do that when you...
I thought about it, but I just said, come along, Coach East, let's go.
Frank joins us every weekday to play the game we call Frank Christ Presents.
They're fine. They're just fine.
He gives me a list of 4 actors, and one of the actors on this list, Frank has met and taken to the distribution center. And from there, who knows?
I don't know where. I don't know where they go. It's hell, 95%.
95% really go to hell. The other 3 on this list, though, they're...
Fine, just fine.
And we have a contestant, I assume?
No.
We don't have a contestant. I shouldn't assume that. What's the prize?
X96 welcomes Dayglow November 6th at the Union with special guest Teenage Dads. Maybe we should put them inside of a Radio from Hell diner-style mug. How about that?
Yeah, do that.
I'm going to kick that up a notch.
So we've got a diner-style coffee mug, which will contain some tickets to a concert.
I'll tell you what, though, Phil Lesh wasn't very grateful when I visited him.
I was going to ask. He wasn't ready to go?
He wasn't ready.
He was not a Grateful Dead.
He was still ready to tour, but he...
877-602-9696 is the number to claim that Radio from Hell coffee mug, a much-coveted Radio from Hell coffee mug with concert
among
tickets.
other things.
Yeah.
Just looking at the list of celebrity birthdays today. Joaquin Phoenix is 50.
Why did I feel like he was old? He
seems older.
He seems older than that. That's why it was confusing me.
He's world weary.
He is. He's got a lot of miles. Lindsay is here.
Lindsay, good morning. Lindsay.
Maybe.
Lindsay.
Lindsay went away.
She heard that comment about Joaquin Phoenix and was upset.
Maybe. Jamie Gertz is 59.
She's one of the wealthiest.
That's what I
women
heard.
in the world.
How did that happen?
She married.
She married money. She married big money.
Yeah, and they have a business of some
Like
sort.
they're They're not millionaires. They're billionaires.
Jamie Gertz is fine.
Yeah.
In all ways.
Yes. She's fine.
59 today.
You don't need to go see her.
Let's go to Ben. Hello,
Ben. Ben.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you, Ben?
I'm just fine.
Good. That's good to know. Ben, if you identify the dead celebrity on this list, you will win those concert tickets and a Radio from Hell coffee mug. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right, then. This is, because it's National Immigrants Day, Frank has given me a list of actors in movies about immigration. Number 1, Richard Jenkins, well known for his portrayal of the deceased father, Nathaniel Fisher, on the HBO series 6 Feet Under. Other work includes Flirting with Disaster, Snow Falling on Cedars, Burn After Reading, Step Brothers, The Cabin in the Woods, and Bone Tomahawk. His immigrant movie is called The Visitor. Number 1, Richard Jenkins. Number 2, Robert Prosky, well-known supporting actor with his roles in Thief, Christine, The Natural, and Broadcast News. Other roles include Mrs. Doubtfire, Last Action Hero, Rudy, and he was Stan on the TV show Hill Street Blues. He was in a movie about Irish immigrants called Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Number 2, Robert Prosky. Number 3, Mark Boone Jr. He performed in over 70 movies, including Too Fast and Too Furious, Get Carter, The General's Daughter, The Thin Red Line, Die Hard 2. On TV, he was in the HBO prison drama Oz, and he was Bobby in Sons of Anarchy. He was in Frozen River, about 2 women who earn extra money by smuggling illegal immigrants. Number 3, Mark Boone Jr. And finally, on this list, Jim Broadbent. He won an Academy Award for his supporting role as John Bailey in the film Iris. He was also in Bullets Over Broadway, Topsy-Turvy, Hot Fuzz, many, many others. He was in Gangs of New York, about Irish immigrants, immigrant gangs in, New York. Gangs of New York. Number 4, Jim Broadbent. All right, which one of those actors is dead?
Number 1.
Number 1? No, I'm sorry.
No.
Richard Jenkins is just fine.
Richard's fine.
I'll give
him another chance.
Okay. Listen carefully. Here's your second chance. Is it Robert Prosky, Mark Boone Jr., or Jim Broadbent?
Oh, Mr. Prosky.
Yes, it's Robert Prosky. He died in 2008 at the age of 77, and the name may not mean anything to you, but if you saw a picture of him, you'd go, oh, I've seen that guy in a lot of stuff. Okay, congratulations. You've won that Radio from Hell coffee mug, which has a stuff in it.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Hang on the line, and somebody will tell you what you need to do next.
All right, well, I've got to go check on Dennis Franz.
Oh, well, Beverly Hills Bunts?
80 today.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah.
He wasn't good looking when he was younger. I can't imagine what 80-year-old Dennis Franz looks like.
I'll just ask around instead of actually check on him then. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Frank.
Everything's moving well. I'm looking from Ogden to Provo, and there are no slowdowns on the UDOT website. Perhaps you're seeing something that UDOT isn't picking up on. That's where Infiniteam comes in. Other radio stations have triple team traffic. That's just 3 people. What do they know? I have the force of all out on the roads to text me and let me know what you're seeing. Just make sure it's safe for you to text 33986.
All right, KXRK Provo. We're going to take a very short break. We got Amy Donaldson with sports coming up after these. Stand by.
3986.
Yes.
Like Pete in Payson. He says instead of saying "be careful," you can say things like, "Maybe you should use your hands to make sure you're steady," or "It looks like those rocks are kind of slippery. What's your plan?"
Be careful. 2 words. 2 words, and the listener can interpret it however they want.
Listen, I've got 2 better ones. Get down!
Don't understand these things.
And I'll add one other. Get down now!
It's like I don't know, did they have space to fill so they wrote this article? I don't understand. What was the town? Payson.
Right. Payson.
Payson Pete.
Thank you.
Be careful in Payson.
Sports, Amy Donaldson, brought to you by
Your Business Here.
Oh.
I would be happy to read it.
All right, let's go.
Amy Donaldson Sports. Break.
I don't see Amy Donaldson here in the studio, so I'm assuming she's on the phone. Mm-hmm. Hi, Amy.
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's going on? What are you okay today?
Yeah, we're down. I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh,
we brought my dad to an NFL game, his birthday present. So we watched the Chiefs and the Raiders yesterday. Yeah,
that was a big game, and it was pretty good game too, I thought.
Yeah, it was a great game. Yeah, for his one and only NFL game, couldn't have been more fun. So.
And is that stadium really nice?
It is. It is amazing, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really love the idea of the covered, temperature-controlled stadium, but yeah, it was amazing. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it's a great time. Great food.
Kansas City.
I had an elote dog. It was wrapped in bacon, and then it had that elote corn and cheese on it. It was the best hot dog I've ever had.
Yeah, and we should mention Kansas City won the game, and they are 7-0. They are the only unbeaten team in the NFL.
They did, and Taylor Swift's boyfriend caught a touchdown pass right in front of us.
He had a great game. He had a really good game.
First, one of the reasons I picked this game was because the Raiders were trash-talking Patrick Mahomes before the season, calling him Kermit the Frog. And so there was a lot of John going on. There was a lot of I don't know.
They're their arch
peacocking.
The Raiders, wherever they may be located in whatever city, that's always been a rivalry for
Kansas City does not, and the Raiders do not care for one another. But Travis Kelce caught like 10 passes, I think, and
that was his first touchdown in 13 games. Which, if you follow Taylor Swift's Twitter, you'll see that she's a witch and she's orchestrating his success.
Oh, okay.
With a lot of 13s happening there. So apparently it was the 13th play. I don't know. I didn't check all this.
What else is going on?
We'll stay with the NFL. The Commanders beat the Chicago Bears with what was, I bet I watched this play 15 times yesterday. A rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, throws a Hail Mary at the end of the game. I think there were 2 seconds left on the clock. Connects with Noah Brown. It bounced off the hand of a young player who was taunting the fans moments earlier because he thought the Bears had won. But that gives the Commanders the 18-15 win over the Bears. And anyway, made for an amazing play. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend.
I'll look for it.
Broncos beat the Panthers. 49ers beat the Cowboys in what was a terrible game. The Bills beat the Seahawks. The Browns beat the Ravens. Patriots beat the Jets 25-22, proving that Aaron Rodgers is indeed cursed.
Yeah. No, he's just out. He's just done. He should be sent away.
Yeah, I read some stat, though. He had the best stats, because they keep stats on everything.
Yeah.
That he has the best stats to lose. The best losing stats of any game or something. It was ridiculous.
He performs well even when the team loses. Is that what you're saying?
Even when the team, he looks good and they lose, so it doesn't matter what he does. So, in college football, Gina's heart was broken again.
Yeah, what happened?
Is it even recovered, Gina? When Utah loses to Houston 17-14. You got to see your third-string quarterback, Brandon Rhodes, when Isaac Wilson got hurt.
But even that went. But everything about it was bad.
He threw an interception for you.
And now is there going to be when BYU comes to Ute Stadium next week?
Wow.
Is there going to be a butt kick in here?
Yeah.
Maybe this will be the thing that gets them up enough to turn things around.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think you should. I admire your optimism, your phantomism, or whatever it is, your goggles. But BYU beat Central Florida 37-24. They're number 9 in the rankings. They looked pretty darn good.
Yep.
Yep. Their defense looked great. I don't think you should. Maybe you could pray for that. Maybe you could hook up with the T-Swift fans and see what they're doing. I don't know.
Get some witch magic going on.
You need some of that magic.
You need something.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's bad.
Yeah.
What's so bad about it, and maybe this is part of the problem, I think we were all so confident that this was going to be an amazing season.
Oh yeah, I remember all the talk out here in the cantina.
Like it was kind of a given.
Yeah.
Like, well, sure,
Of course it's going to be huge.
We're going to be. I think.
Who was not on that bandwagon, Gina? Who was not
You're
on that bandwagon?
never on any bandwagon.
I don't believe in bandwagoning.
And that way you're never disappointed.
That's right. You show me what you got when you play. Don't tell me what you got before you play.
Yeah, those preseason rankings were wrong. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Utah State, they beat Wyoming. I think that might be their second or third win of the season. 27-25. They play. Their fans should not get their hopes up either because they play next in number 22 Washington State on November 9th. Almost everybody has a bye. Weber State will play against Northern Arizona this weekend, as they had a bye this weekend, but everybody else will be sitting out this weekend for Halloween. I think everyone's taking Halloween off.
Right.
Also, you have your MLS playoffs. So you have Real Salt Lake starting the playoffs tomorrow. They host Minnesota. That game's at 6:50 at America First Field. And then Saturday they'll play in Minnesota. And if needed, they'll play the following week back in Utah. The Royals, they hired their interim coach, Jimmy, and I can't pronounce his name. I'm going to say Jimmy C. Went to his press conference. Amazing young guy. I think he's 29. He gets a 2-year contract. He's from Belgium. They play their season finale against Gotham FC on Friday at America First Field. And just so you know what he's done there is pretty remarkable. The Royals had a 2-11-2 start, and their current record is now 7-4-14. So a lot of draws, but pretty remarkable turnaround.
How about the World Series? What's your husband saying
how about those
that?
Dodgers? How about that? Very important sports is going to be so wrong. I mean, my Dodgers are killing it.
Yeah, but
and
Otani is injured. He's
not. He's playing. He's playing.
Is he going to play?
His shoulder. He's expected to play. What is he doing? He's just hitting the ball. He's not doing anything. So, he is. They announced almost like 3 hours later that he's expected to play after dislocating his shoulder, which he says happens all the time.
And it's his left shoulder, so...
Yeah, who cares, right? Shoulder, smolder.
Yeah, who cares?
But the Dodgers are going to win. The game one, so Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam, exactly 36 years after Kirk Gibson's pinch hit, where he hits a walk-off home run to win that game in 1988. So I'm just saying there's a little witch magic happening for my Dodgers, too. They won on Saturday 4-2. Game 3 is tonight in New York City. And as we said, Mr. Shohei Ohtani is expected to play.
Don't count the Yankees out.
Don't count them out. Oh, and the Royals, said the Royals have their fun. They have a season finale this weekend, so go watch the Royals play.
Is it three? Is it 3 games in New York?
Yes, they play 3 in New York. Yeah, so they will win the series in New York, just FYI.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
You think?
Yeah, and when they do, depending on how this week goes, I think very important sports will be doing sports next week. I'm going to make him come on.
You see, again, this is a band.
Explain yourself.
Talk about how amazing those Dodgers are. Woohoo!
This is a bandwagon I'm not getting on.
Get on it, Bill. Get on it because everyone will hate you if you do. Get on it.
Don't give.
See, and you know how I pick. It's cities that I like.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't have
Which
any.
do you look better, New York or L.A.?
And I like both cities.
Oh, okay.
I like both cities, but I lean toward L.A.
And I like New
say,
York.
You're more L.A., Carrie. You got to be with me.
I like New York, so I wouldn't count them out. Damn Yankees.
Well, I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying that they're going to win.
Yes,
they
you
might
are.
let the Yankees have one
I'm
game,
not counting them out. I'm just saying they're not going to win. That's counting them out, Amy. I'm sorry.
Well, I can't say. That's how I feel.
So how's your podcast? It's called...
Making of a Moment. The RSL story, doing well. Appreciate everybody and all the support. Episode 3 comes out Wednesday. There was a bonus episode with Brian Dunseth on Friday, and there'll be one with Dave Checketts this Friday.
And did you have a good party?
We did have a good party. It was great. Again, I was just kind of blown away. I don't throw parties because I'm always afraid no one will come. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Was Ed suitably uncomfortable?
He was. He was more social. You'd have loved to have seen him that social. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And his review was, "Oh my God, that was so much more interesting than I thought it was going to be."
That's about as positive as you can get.
That is positive.
That is that and that he was glad I was tired because I wasn't so overwhelming.
You gotta wear Amy out.
You know, my wife can be a bit much.
I know. He was like, "Please don't drink any more coffee, please."
All right, Amy Donaldson, you can follow her AD on Sports and look for her podcast. What's it called again?
Making It of a Moment, the RSL story, anywhere you get podcasts.
All right,
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. All the way from Las Vegas. Traffic.
Oh, everything is looking great. We've had a good commute this morning so far. Nothing to really tell you about. Unless UDOT's lying to me, I don't trust them. Maybe there's trouble out there and they're hiding it from me, and you see it on your commute.
They are a government agency.
Yes. Really, I do appreciate your help in letting me know what you're seeing out on the roads. Just make sure it's safe for you to text 33986.
Let's see, we've got Boner voting coming up in just a minute. Here are the candidates. Boner candidate number 1. I put it in a small bag, along with a note saying, "I love you." It was very emotional. Boner candidate number 2. Where's the cauliflower ear? Where's the foot infection? And boner candidate number 3. Who's that jackwad?
Boner of the day, big boy news, all coming up after these messages and a song. Stand by. UtahAdvocates.com.
The Advocates, yes. Accidents happen that we wish they didn't. The Advocates wish that they didn't, but they do.
I would say this week with Halloween, people are out. They're in costume. They're wearing dark colors. You might not notice them.
I'll be wearing my invisible pedestrian costume.
It's you could be the victim of an accident or someone you love, and if that happens, call the Advocates, 801-355-5550.
You know, the legal process after an accident can be scarier than anything that happens at Halloween, really. Trying to deal with the insurance companies. Well, that's what the Advocates are for. They're there to help you, to help things move along and keep it simple. You don't have to navigate insurance claims or tricky legal language on your own. The Advocates will be there to help you. Now, when you make the call, they don't charge you any money out of pocket at all. Through the whole process, as a matter of fact, you never pay a dime to them. So call them, 801-355-5550, or go to Utah.
I don't go to Halloween parties.
That's the big story.
Is it?
Yes. And well, okay.
I don't go to parties, let alone Halloween parties, let alone Halloween parties where there is a costume element to it.
So what got Gina out of her seat for this specific party?
Yeah, good question.
Well, part of it is it was a friend's party who happens to live across the street. So the effort required to get there.
Very little effort.
Very little effort.
Okay. Even then I wouldn't, but.
But my husband and I are in this place where we are almost empty nesters. Mm-hmm. We're very close. Mm-hmm. And we don't want to be those people that don't have friends your whole adult life when you have kids because you're busy. And then once your kids are gone, go, okay, we would like some friends now that we don't have kids anymore.
Right.
So we're dipping our toe in socializing.
You don't want to fade away, as they say. Okay, cool.
So get this invitation. It's a costume party. And I'm like, great, okay. what I hate. I'm talking to Nick right now, who has dressed up to come to work, not on Halloween. That's how much he likes dressing up in costumes.
No, this isn't a costume.
Oh,
This is him every day. He's how is it put?
I'm market tested bad boy Nick Davis.
Market tested.
So,
because you know what you need? You need a bad boy in there.
Yes,
that's what you need.
And that's Nick's your buddy, Nick's your pal.
That's right. Market tested.
Surprisingly enough, my husband says I have an idea for a couple's costume.
Really?
Because if there's anyone in my house that likes to dress up less than I do, it's him.
Okay.
And he says, and I can do it using things in my own closet. Because I've looked in the mirror recently as I've been watching the news, and I've noticed I have a resemblance in my wardrobe and general look to George Santos.
Oh, no. I disagree, but...
I mean...
It's a snappy business attire.
So I thought, okay, why don't we both go as George Santos?
But how do you do that, Gina?
Well, I sent Katie a picture that I'm hoping she puts up.
There it is.
George Santos, you might recall, and this is the one thing he's done that I think we all applaud him for, is
Yes.
he has performed in drag before.
Listen,
and there are photos.
Listen, I was in Brazil and I was having a good time. Sue me.
This is the one thing I think is great.
Yeah.
And so I said, I will also go as George Santos in drag. So I got a red dress and a red feather boa and a big fake jewelry choker. And we went, and all I had to get for Joe was an American flag pin to put on his...
You mean you don't have any?
No, you would think I would. So we were collectively George Santos.
You look nice.
I look nice as a drag queen?
No, it's a great costume, but if you didn't explain to me, I'd just be like, oh, you two look really
we
nice
just
this
went-
evening.
The Santoses. Now, what was the drag name? What?
What was...
Ravishay?
I have it here. Well, let me look
what
one
is-
kid. Yeah, because he had a
has
different drag name.
He has a drag name, yeah. But even though it was just one night in Brazil while he was having a good time,
Right.
he's got a whole persona.
Kitara Ravash.
That's it, Ravash. Katara Ravash.
That is a really good name.
That is.
And we went to the party.
Did you win best costume?
I don't know because...
You left early.
We left early.
Of course you did. As would I have. See, that's how I knew.
Yeah.
Once the karaoke came out...
Oh, really? Oh.
We Irish goodbye'd it right back across the street.
Perfect.
And I was in my jammies by 9:30. It was
That's my goodness.
Perfect evening right there.
I went though.
That's a night on the town.
Proud of
Yeah.
you.
I'm proud of both of us.
I'm proud of you.
Did you mingle?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We chatted.
Okay.
Although if you're trying to meet new people, a Halloween costume party is not a good place to do that.
No.
Because I will not know really what any of these people look like.
You won't recognize anybody.
Now, of course, there were a couple different Travis Kelce and Taylor Swifts.
Everybody's going to do that.
There were a couple of those.
Then a couple of Barbies and Kens.
There were, but I will say about the Barbies. They discussed this, and they were each a different Barbie.
A different Barbie. That's
So
a
there
good
was,
idea.
There was Cowboy Barbie and roller skating Barbie and weird Barbie.
good
And
idea.
so it wasn't just all showing up as the same. So I applaud them
Good idea.
for that.
And here's a texter. It says, Gina, speaking for the gays, I love that you picked Katara Ravashe as your party
good.
costume.
I was, do you know, there was a tiny bit of me that was worried that I shouldn't do. But if the gays say it's okay,
Well, you've
then
got
I feel better.
You've got
about
at least
it.
one seal of approval
Okay,
here.
good.
Because on this day, in 1977, Sex Pistols released their only studio album.
That's it.
Featuring Anarchy in the UK. Pretty Vacant, which is a great song. Holidays in the Sun. Let's see. No Feelings is one of my favorites. And, of course, that song, God Save the Queen. All right. Big boy news and opinioendo. But first, boner of the day. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to be boner of the day for today, October, 26? 28? 28. October 28th, 2024. We'll give you 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote, and one of you lucky random boner voters will receive.
Can't buy it. Got to win it. Radio from Hell boner T-shirt.
Boner candidate number 1, I put it in a small bag along with a note saying, I love you. It was very emotional. Jalisco, Mexico, a 23-year-old woman removed her belly button and gave it to her ex-boyfriend as a present. Body modification, and I wish, do we have the other picture, too, of the actual bag with a belly button in it?
I don't want to see that.
It's body modification fanatic Paulina Casillas Landeros from Jalisco underwent numerous surgeries, such as a back corset, which involves piercings on either side of the spine, and a split tongue. She later decided to remove her belly button, as it's what makes us human, before giving it as a present to her then-boyfriend, Daniel Ramirez. But following the removal 3 years ago, she says she ultimately regrets her decision, describing it as reckless and impulsive. I was very angry, and I wanted to cut all unions from everything and everyone. I wanted to dehumanize myself in a symbolic way. Yeah, there's the picture of it, x96.com/live. I was suffering. I spent days in bed. I couldn't stretch or push or stand up or laugh.
Well,
It gradually healed itself, but not 100%. It never will close entirely. Paulina said she knew she wanted to give the body part to Daniel as an ultimate token of love. I was very much in love with my then-boyfriend.
Oh, then-boyfriend. They're not still together?
No.
Oh.
He supported me through many difficult times, and he is one of the most influential people in my life. It was something I did on the spur of a moment. We were young and stupid, and that's... No, we weren't young and... You were young and stupid, but that's the way I felt. I put it in a small bag, along with a note saying, I love you. It was very emotional. He has kept it. And he will keep it forever because he knows the meaning behind it.
Well, I can't count how many times I've told women, if you really love me,
give me your belly button.
You'll give me your belly button.
Boner candidate number 1, I put it in a small bag along with a note saying, I love you. It was very emotional. Here's boner candidate number 2. Where's the cauliflower ear? Where's the foot infection? A family has filed a lawsuit against a funeral home in New Jersey after they were horrified to find the wrong corpse dressed in their father's clothing during a viewing.
Oh.
Addison Jenkins died in February of 2023. His family made arrangements with Boyd Funeral Home in Camden for a viewing a few weeks later, followed by cremation, court documents said. His wife, Dorothy, brought her husband's clothes and personal belongings to the funeral home a few days before the funeral services. 2 days later, the family went to the funeral home to view the body before the next day, but they were shocked to find another man's body in the casket, dressed in their father's clothing. Family members approached the casket. They became emotionally distressed and angered when they saw another unrecognizable corpse dressed in Mr. Addison's clothes and belongings. The family was shocked and confused and full of tears. When they confronted staff at the funeral home, they allegedly insisted, no, that's your father.
They look different when they're dead.
One employee showed them text messages from the funeral director that adamantly states that the body was, in fact, Addison Jenkins. The family said the corpse did not have Jenkins' distinctive features, including his cauliflower ear and an infection on his foot.
You can't hide a cauliflower ear.
Boner candidate number 2. Where's the cauliflower ear? Where's the infection on the foot? Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3. Who's that jackwad?
Boner candidate number 3 coming up after this. Big boy news and opinioendo brought to you by...
Is your furnace going to last through the winter? We trust our friends at Larson HVAC and Plumbing. They're quick, convenient, and affordable. They fix what needs fixing. Visit larsonhvac.com/X96.
Every time Meryl Streep and Martin Short go anywhere together, they beg the question, are they only friends in the building?
We want them to be a couple because they're adorable together.
We do.
The very good friends, nothing more, as Short's rep put it, after their cozy-looking Golden Globes outing in January, nipping dating rumors in the bud, quickly becoming the Internet's favorite pair to ship, regardless of the lack of cold, hard proof that a romance was being committed.
I can tell. That's cold, hard proof.
No matter that Short reiterated as much soon after and has continued in the vein, whenever asked, "We're not a couple," he said. "We're just very close friends." Their physical proximity in public since then could be chalked up to having the fourth season of Only Murders in the Building to promote, especially considering their characters. Self-absorbed theater director Oliver and actress with a secret Loretta fell in love in season 3. But protestations aside, they've left just enough circumstantial evidence in their wake to keep fans swooning.
They sure hold hands a lot.
Over the sheer possibility that the respectively iconic talents could be more than just longtime pals.
I think they're perfect for each other.
I do too.
They should lean into it.
But what about poor Steve?
Well,
He's fine.
He's fine. He's just fine.
He's all left behind.
I don't think he must have a.
He is. He's married.
Is he married?
Yeah.
He didn't marry Victoria Tennant, did he?
No.
But they were together for a long time.
They were,
as I recall. Well, so he's just fine. Okay. Well, as long as Steve's okay.
Maybe the four of them. They could all open a bed and breakfast together or something. I don't know.
I will watch them do anything.
Utah Governor Republican Spencer Cox leads his Democratic opponent, State Representative Brian King, by 32 percentage points in the latest Deseret News Hinckley Institute of Politics poll conducted less than a month before the general election. A majority of respondents said that if the election were held today, they would vote for Cox. In a full ballot scenario, Cox received 51%, King 19%, Independent American candidate Tommy Williams 4%. What? Why?
I don't even know who that is.
Robert Latham, Libertarian 3%, and unaffiliated Tom 2%. What? Get those people out of here. Get them off the ballot. Over one-fifth of respondents, 22%, said that they were unsure or didn't know which of the 5 candidates on the ballot they would vote for. The poll did not include an option to write in the name of another candidate.
At this point, who doesn't know? You really still don't know? We still have people that don't know?
Yeah, I would understand
Sadly.
that. Yeah, I would understand that, though. Like, for instance, people who are longtime Trump supporters. And the more they look at it and the more things, they see, they go, I don't know if I can do it. There are a lot of people like that, I think, so that they consider themselves undecided. I don't know. I shouldn't probably vote for him. I don't know if and they, that's an undecided voter. I can understand that aspect of it. Let's see. In her 9 years on Earth, Eliza Wilson has learned to tell the difference between what is fun and what is not, what's awesome and what's not, and what makes a good teacher and what does not. On Friday, Eliza brought all of these examples together. Thanks to her teacher, David Pendleton, she and 649 of her school peers got to see a tree sapling from NASA that had traveled around the moon, and they saw their teacher plant it. I don't watch a lot of news or anything, but I know what NASA is. They know a lot about science, and they have rockets and stuff, and we're Armstrong Academy. It's fun to have anything from NASA, she said, after the tree planting ceremony. Mr. Pendleton said he applied for this because he wanted all the students to see what science can do. He's just like that. He's an amazing teacher.
Well, that's good.
It's a nice little ceremony at this school, the Armstrong Academy. Utah has received some of these saplings from NASA over the years, including the original moon trees that were planted across the United States to commemorate the lunar landing in 1969. One of those was planted in Draper back in 1976. Although what Armstrong Academy planted is also named a moon tree, its seeds flew on Artemis 1 in 2022, not during Apollo 11 in 1969. They call them all moon trees. They always I think on all missions like that, they take seeds with them, and it's sort of a ceremonial thing, and then they'll bring them back to.
But they still have to calculate the weight of those seeds.
They do.
They have to take that into account.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they do. Let's see. Speaking of elections, go back to Utah elections. Looks like John Curtis will replace Mitt Romney as a senator from Utah. He's way ahead in his race. Israel attacked military targets in Iran with pre-dawn airstrikes on Saturday in retaliation for the barrage of ballistic missiles that the Islamic Republic fired on Israel earlier this month. It was the first time Israel's military has openly attacked Iran. The United States was involved in that. It said, if you're going to do this, make sure that you do not attack any nuclear sites in Iran, and don't attack any, I think it's like, electrical power distribution sites. The Israeli military said its aircraft targeted facilities that Iran used to make missiles fired at Israel. So that's okay. Go ahead. Hit the missile sites. Don't hit nuclear sites. Don't hit power sites. Well, apparently they did that, and it looks kind of like it worked, in that Iran has not said they're going to fire back. It's like they've said,
all right,
okay,
enough,
we get it.
Uncle?
Okay, we get it. We get it. Nobody wants full-scale war. So hopefully that's the attitude. Because Iran has apparently been downplaying these attacks. Oh, it was nothing. They didn't. They
a flesh wound.
They hardly did anything. It was silly. It was nothing. And so hopefully things will be cool for a while. Russian operatives created and amplified false online content attempting to smear Democratic Vice President candidate Tim Walz, U.S. intelligence agencies said. The content in question included manipulated audio content that circulated on social media platforms containing several indicators of manipulation that are consistent with the influence, efforts, and tactics of Russian actors. An official with the Office of National Intelligence told reporters. Some posts circulating the fake content garnered hundreds of thousands of views and were amplified by right-wing personalities, of course. The episode had echoes of the bizarre and false Pizzagate conspiracy theory. They had Walz saying things that were not him. I mean, they just manipulated his voice.
That's
to
the
say
hard
certain
thing
things.
with AI now. You can do that.
Yeah. Let's see what else. The FBI, for crime experts and researchers like Jeff Asher, a delay in getting reliable data from the FBI in a timely manner is a source of major frustration. There's nothing else in American society I can think of that we're like, oh, it's okay to have a 9-month lag in terms of knowing these trends. Inflation, job reports, baseball. We expect a fast understanding of the general trend. He's saying the FBI does not do that. We do get that, and we get fast results about economy. We get fast results about sports. For some reason, the FBI can't seem to get itself together and release crime statistics on in a timely manner. And the people who analyze that sort of thing say it makes it difficult to know what to predict, how to take care of crime. We need these things immediately. So they're on the FBI trying to get them to do that. They say their monthly crime release reports are a joke. And finally move over Fat Bear Week. It's Bat Beauty Week.
Bat Beauty? Do we get to vote?
Yes, a Bat Beauty contest is stepping up to the plate. The Bureau of Land Management has hosted the online competition to raise awareness about bats' ecological importance. The federal agency posts photos of bats on its Facebook and Instagram accounts and asks the public to vote for the cutest bat. The bats are part of wild populations living on public lands and are photographed by the agency staff. First round of voting began Thursday and pitted a Townsend big-eared bat named Sir Flaps-a-Lot from Utah against a hoary bat fittingly named Hoary Potter from Oregon. The contest coincides with the start of Bat Week, during which bat experts across the country and the world hold educational events celebrating the only flying mammal. Bats, the only flying mammal.
Well, are you going to go on there and vote? You should.
I think I will. I like bats.
Yes.
Let's see. What is the? I'm looking for the website here. I'll let you know what the website is where you can vote.
Right.
You'd think they'd put that right at the beginning of the story, but
no.
But why bother?
Weather, traffic.
So it's feeling more like fall. High of 63 today. 20% chance of showers during the day today. Overnight tonight, though, 80% chance of rain. That could even drift over into snow, maybe up by your house, Carrie, because we're going to be down into the 30s overnight. I mean, you're not going to have to shovel it or anything.
I know, but it's
that. And that sticks around for Tuesday and Wednesday, only staying in the 40s for highs. Very chilly. Overnight lows in the 30s. We warm back up to the 50s, it looks like, by the weekend. And another chance of rain Thursday night into Friday and perhaps through the weekend. Traffic, we have just one crash to tell you about. Eastbound SR 201, 30th West, milepost 14 off to the right shoulder. We check our message stream, see if anybody sent anything in there. That's where Infinitium assembles and lets us know what they're seeing on the roads. Only if it's safe for you to text 33986.
Batweek.org is a place where you can start. I think you probably find what you need there.
I'll be voting for Adam West. He's the cutest.
Let's see. Boner candidate number 3. Who is that jackwad? That was Tim Wall's
is that how
response.
he commented on him?
That was Tim Wall's
I agree
response. 2 hours before Donald Trump was set to take the stage at Madison Square Garden in New York, right-wing, and it says here, comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe warmed up the crowd with a shockingly racist performance. By the way, Mr. Hinchcliffe was, he's an L.A.-based comedian, dropped by his agent recently because of racist things he said about Asians.
Mm-hmm. This isn't the first time.
So Hinchcliffe, talking to the Madison Square Garden, this is at a big Trump rally.
Mm-hmm.
Where are my proud Latinos tonight? Hinchcliffe asked the packed arena, eliciting some scattered loud cheers. You guys see what I mean? The border's wide open. There's so many of them. These Latinos, they love making babies, too.
You're not going to read the whole thing, are you? I would say don't read
there's a part in there you can't.
Do not read that.
I could say there's no pulling out.
Yeah.
They don't do that. Then I probably can't say any more.
No, the rest you can't. No.
Yeah. The crowd groaned. It's a crude sex joke about the fact that Latinos have babies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd groaned and cheered as Hinchcliffe continued, saying, Republicans, we're the party with a good sense of humor, you know?
Are you?
Uh-huh. Next, Hinchcliffe referenced how people are eating the pets in Springfield, Ohio, and then he discussed Israel's ongoing siege of Gaza and made an anti-Semitic joke about Jews being cheap and obsessed with money. Why is money involved when these wars, when it comes to Israel and Palestine? We're still all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know, the Palestinians, they're going to throw rock every time. You get it? Also, the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper, you know?
See, I'm uncomfortable with you reading all of this.
He
said that at Madison Square Garden.
He then referred to Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean. And he said, you know, we have a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean, which a lot of environmentalists have talked about that. Yeah, it's called Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then he talked about black people, and he said, I get together with this black friend of mine, and we're carving watermelons instead of pumpkins. This is what's passing for...
Well, yeah, you say racist things and then say it's a joke.
Now, I will say this, uncharacteristically, usually the Trump spokespeople will double down on all of this.
Yeah.
Trump spokespeople did say, we didn't have anything to do with that. Well, you hired him.
Yeah.
You hired him.
And he said stuff like this before, so you can't act like you're
You know his background.
About
Also, his speech was loaded into your teleprompter, which means you had to have read it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just him.
No, there were others doing it too.
That whole run-up.
During a live stream, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Tim Walz, the Democratic vice presidential nominee, reacted to Mr. Hinchcliffe's comments about Puerto Rico shortly after he made them. "Who's that jackwad?" Walz said, and Ocasio-Cortez, who is Puerto Rican herself, said, "When you have some a-hole calling Puerto Rico floating garbage, know that that's what they think about you."
Yes. And remember, Trump delayed $20 billion in aid to Puerto Rico after the hurricane.
Kerry, he took them paper towels.
He threw them paper towels.
Boner candidate number 3. Who's that jackwad?
It was, what was it, 85 years ago that there was a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden that Donald's father was there? All right. Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. I put it in a small bag along with a note saying, "I love you." It was very emotional. Yes, it's a woman in Mexico who cut off her, she had a surgeon do it apparently, to cut off her belly button and put it in a bag and gave it to her boyfriend.
Hey, make the surgeon part of the boner, too. Who would do that?
What a token of love. What a token. Boner candidate number 2. Where is the cauliflower ear? Where is the foot infection? This is not our father in this casket. This is an imposter. This is apparently the funeral home dressed a different body in the family patriarch's clothes and tried to pass it off. And boner candidate number 3, who's that jackwad?
All right, time for you to vote for Boner of the Day. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think is the worst, the one that you think should be Boner of the Day. 1, 2, or 3. Remember the number. Put that single digit in the message of a text. And text that to 33986. Or you can call Katie in the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner of the Day, October 28, 2024. Click and vote. If you don't see that box, refresh your browser. It'll appear. Click and vote. Bill Frost will be telling us what's on TV this week, coming up at 8 o'clock. And then Beat Gina coming up as well. Stand by for all of that. You've got 3 minutes to vote for your boner, so let's go. Boner of the Day.
Yeah.
I'm cold. I know we complain about
awfully cold in here.
we complain about you're like, I thought you guys used to complain that it was hot in there. Yes. And we wear these, at least Bill and I wear these fingerless gloves.
I'm not wearing them today, but I should be.
But mine have like the fingerless gloves, but it's not thumbless gloves. My thumbs are covered. And it makes it difficult, like if I have a stack of my work papers, to try to separate them.
I used to have mittens that were like, they were fingerless gloves, but then there was a mitten part that you could flip
I
back
have that.
and Velcro.
See? Look.
Oh, is it on there?
Yeah, look. See, you just cover it up like that.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I think we ought to have hand.
Yeah.
No, nobody cares that we're freezing in here. No. Nobody cares that the phone beeps all the time. Nobody cares.
Or the video doesn't match up
with the audio, yeah.
I could go out. You know what? I've been looking at that to see how far off it is. I think what's happening here, this is actually video from a couple of days ago.
I think so.
Bill, I also liked Bill's suggestion of we could just talk faster.
Yeah, we talk faster.
It might warm us up.
Yeah. And I could go out into the hall and yell about this, but all I would hear is my own voice echoing back to me.
Well, while you're out there, why don't you tell them to fix the sign out front, too?
Okay.
33986.
All right, 7:50. Let's award boner of the day.
And the boner of the day is brought to you in part by Steak and Taters.
And the State Room presents Making Live Music Memories. Check out Joanne Shaw Taylor's Heavy Soul Tour this Tuesday, October 29th at the Rose Wagner Performing Arts Center. Get tickets at thestateroompresents.com.
So I might be a record. Might be a record in voting.
It could
now,
be.
But boner candidate number one got 10 votes, the woman who
gave her belly button.
Yeah. Number two, very upsetting for a family, got 32 votes. But with 293 votes, who's that jackwad?
That's pretty high.
Wins boner of the day.
Yeah. It's your boner of the day for today, October 28th, 2024. Now qualified to be boner of the week.
I want to hear about your Halloween party, Gina. But just quickly, I went to see Thriller. Our good friend Daryl Yeager, who comes in and into the studio this time of year and talks about. And I had not seen it in years and years and years. It was really great fun, and it's at the Grand Theater in over at Salt Lake Community College on State Street. Beautiful venue. The place was packed, and wandering through the crowd were all of these little young girls, very young girls, maybe no older than 15 or 16, like zombies, dressed like sort of zombies or in little girl outfits, And they didn't interact with the crowd. They just sort of wandered around and occasionally would glare at you. And I said, I think these are Daryl's kids. But if Thriller, I don't know if any tickets are left, but it was great, and it's a lot of fun, and it packed audience, and they just loved it. So.
I had a big day Saturday. First,
all right,
because I have informed my parents I am not buying them things anymore. They have enough things. I'm not buying you things.
Well, you put your foot down, by God.
We're going to go do things.
Oh, I see.
I'll buy you experiences,
yes,
which are way more expensive than things.
So way back, this is Mother's Day, Father's Day present. I bought tickets to Jim Gaffigan on Saturday, the early show, the 5 o'clock show, and it's a good thing it was 5 o'clock because we had a Halloween party later in the night. I did two things on Saturday.
If it had been a later show, you would have missed your own party.
I know. And so Jim Gaffigan, always funny. But his opening act, I had one joke that I had a problem with.
Who was the opening act?
I don't know his name. This is going to be woke me.
Uh-oh.
So he talked about, I bought a new house, and my neighborhood, there's flags. Everybody has flags in their yard, and there are a lot of neighbors that have Black Lives Matter flags in their yard, and there are not very many black people in my neighborhood. People that have
so dumb
Black Lives Matter flags or
dumb
pride flags. It's not like identifying, hey, somebody black lives here or a gay person lives. It's saying, hey, we love you. We're your allies. We support you.
I've told this story before, Gina. Remember this? I had a boss once. I ran a promo for the United Negro College Fund. This is when I was working at a TV station briefly. I run this promo. It's, so they send them to you on tape. You run the promo. He calls me into his office. Why are we running a promo for the United Negro College Fund? There's not a Negro college within 500 miles of here. I just shook my head and walked out of the room.
So after that, I needed the costume that could be quickly assembled to get to the party on time.
Yes, you've been asking our listeners for suggestions.
And I took their suggestions and I incorporated them, and I sent Katie some pictures.
Oh, okay, we have pictures.
They have them.
Do we need to get
x96.com/live?
Let's see. I'm guessing that your meat cutters.
You're tree farmers.
So we're tree farmers.
So you can see the pine tree.
Yeah, we had little pine branches stuffed in our pockets.
Put that back up, please.
With little pine branches stuffed in our pockets. And also in our pockets, I had business cards printed at a friend of the program's suggestion, because not only are we tree farmers, It's Crazy Joe's Tree and Body Farm, Tree and Limb Cutting Services.
Limb cutting.
And our little tagline is, would you like a fresh cut? So not only do we have trees, but we thought there would be some serial killers at the party that, this is a service we can provide. You might have these bodies stacking up at your house. We'll take those off your hands.
How did this go over?
I mean, it was a good idea. I had a toy chainsaw, and we had the business cards. What we didn't take into account is we went to a party full of people that need reading glasses.
Oh.
So we kept handing these cards out.
Oh.
And they'd hold them out and go, "What's that? I can't."
Was this at a rest home?
I can't quite read.
Was it an assisted living center party? Whoa.
What this card says.
One of Daddy Gary's places? Is that where you went?
So then
Did
it's
they have
not
applesauce afterwards?
It's not as fun when you have to explain
That could be a problem, yeah.
it to people. But I may wear this costume every year now because it was Carhartt's, and they are comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You can bend over
Sure,
and
put the
and
picture
they,
up again, please. You
Wait
can
a minute.
bend over.
That's
bend-
the
You
big
can
selling
bend
point.
over.
You can
Well,
bend. You
now-
drop something on the floor. You bend over. What?
I don't know. Your husband looks frighteningly into it.
No,
You, however,
he's acting.
You, however, look like a model who's trying to pretend to be.
To pretend to be a tree farmer / body farmer.
Yeah, you shouldn't have worn so you're wearing nice makeup. You should have either made it really extreme or none at all.
Well, like I said, the problem was I was coming directly from Jim Gaffigan.
No, you should have worn your costumes to Jim Gaffigan.
So I really just changed I didn't do this makeup for the party. It was just, that's how I was after going out.
You should have smeared some lipstick on, kind of crooked.
Changed some clothes.
Your husband, though, I'd be a little worried about him.
Little worried?
Yeah, I mean, in real life.
Yeah. And that chainsaw is a great toy chainsaw because it actually has a blade that moves. Little plastic blade that rotates around, little rubber.
I think that's what they were
What could
using.
go wrong?
I think that's what they were using in Thriller. They did a chainsaw
probably.
dance thing, and I think those those little toys.
All right.
So what?
But we did it. I did two things on Saturday.
What kind of spooky food did they have? Did they have spooky, like witch's fingers and?
No, they just got red iguana. They got takeout from red iguana.
Really?
But it was all tomato based, so we pretended that it was blood. All right. Traffic.
Let's see.
Bunch of nearsighted people who like red iguana.
Here's
Sounds
our
fun.
card. What does it say? I can't read
That
it.
sounds fun.
Crash eastbound SR 201 30th West. And that was reported a bit ago. I think things are still moving pretty well. Let's see. We have another. Nope, that's been cleared up. And you haven't sent anything in, but please, if you see something, let us know, and I'll pass it along. 33986.
All right, we will take a break. Bill Frost is here to tell us what's on TV this week after these messages. Stand by. KXRK Provo. Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win some money while watching sports. With their pick'em game, you can win up to $1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on players' stats, passing yards, touchdowns, three-pointers, doubles, all of that kind of stuff. And every dog deserves a second chance, and with Underdog Rescues, you can get your money back and receive a promo if an early injury takes your entry to lose. So, like yesterday, you can do very well. Travis Kelce, I'll bet he'll do better than he did last time. He sure did. He sure did. You can win money doing that. That's all you have to do. You can also pump up your winnings just by tapping when you apply for the Boost to eligible entries. So download the app, sign up with the promo code ALLRED, and deposit now and get your deposit. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. You got to be 18 years of age or older, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncp.gambling. I can't decide.
Offspring's coming on August 3rd, if you're curious.
August 3rd. Let's see. I'm I'm looking at.
I'm looking at the snow. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
It's just.
I got worried that Boba Fett died, Carrie, because Boba Fett was trending. I don't.
Well, you mean the actor?
No,
That they killed him off?
No, I just got worried. Doesn't appear.
Did you click on it?
Yeah.
I'm not clicking on it.
Oh, is
because
this a spoiler?
I'm thinking it's a spoiler that you have already spoiled now.
Mm-hmm.
It just
for The Mandalorian, which I haven't watched yet. I'm planning on watching today.
Gina, did you manage to avoid the Succession spoiler?
No, that was my thing that must go yesterday.
So you did find out what it was. Have you watched the show?
No.
yet?
Neither have I, and I know what the spoiler is.
You do know.
But
let me tell you this about it. And I'm not going to say what it is. Knowing what it is does not ruin the show.
I've heard there are things about it like there's some long shot, some amazing 30-minute long one-take shot or something.
30 minutes?
It's just how the people respond to what happens is what's important and what's interesting. Not the fact, not what happens, but how everybody responds to it. So
we've got them stacked up. We got that and Yellow Jackets stacking up, and
I hate that you're not able to keep things. There's no way to keep things a secret.
Well, that show, The Beef, is so good.
I finished that.
I haven't finished it yet.
I finished that.
Those people are all just so awful.
Everyone is terrible.
Oh my God! Even when you start thinking even the little girl, think, oh, you little brat.
So my husband is not on social media at all.
Good for him.
So he's able to ignore things. So and he does this with sports stuff all the time.
Oh.
Like he wants to watch Premier League soccer with Muhammad, my son, not the prophet. And he's like, "Oh, I recorded that game. Let's watch it." And every time Muhammad's like, "I know what happened. Unless you watch things in real time, there's no way."
Very occasionally, I want to watch a sporting event and not in real time. And if I do, I just go out of my way to not.
It's hard though.
But you can do it.
Basically, there's too many shows.
Yeah.
986.
I'm very excited to have my first customer for Joe's Tree and Limb Farm. Sandy and Sandy would like to utilize our services in Sandy's. It's very excited. First customer in Sandy.
Sandy. All right. Bill Frost, Talking TV, brought to you by
our subpar TV and slow internet ruining your life. The experts at CableTV.com have reviewed all the best cable, satellite streaming, and internet services. Get a better hookup at CableTV.com today.
Thank you.
Well, here he is. He's swaggered into the studio, high off his award-winning performance with Magna Vega at the...
sold out, I understand.
The Tailgate?
Tailgate Tavern, yeah.
Tailgate Tavern. Downtown
Sold out show.
Sold out. That's incredible.
South Salt Lake.
Like people came to the door and they said, sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're lying around the block. Like, nope.
Room.
Excellent. That was Saturday night?
Yes.
Magna Vega is the band. Bill Frost is also a fine writer. His writing has been sold out for a long time.
Yes.
He sold out years ago.
Yes.
City Weekly is where you'll find the stuff. Cityweekly.net, is it?
Yep.
And then Bill Frost has a podcast called TV Tan.
Yep.
And also the band Magna Vega, but you can just find things Frost-related at, what is it, Bill?
BillFrost.tv.
Okay.
All right.
What's on the TV?
Well, we got some stuff this week. American Dad, tonight, season 19.
Your daughter will be thrilled.
I know. On TBS, of course. On Tuesday, we have a new sequel series to, I know we've all been waiting for this, the sequel series to Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh.
We now have Wizards Beyond Waverly Place.
Oh, I see.
Oh, so they were advertising the crap out of that. I watched The Old Man last night, and I was wondering why. And Selena Gomez is in it.
She'll be guesting.
Yeah.
She was in the original. She'll be guesting now because, she's got that other show.
Yeah, that other.
And she's also a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also doesn't have to work another day in her life.
She doesn't have to do this.
No.
Yeah, it's basically the character Justin. He's grown up and now he has kids, and I guess they're wizards now.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with the show, but
so you can pass on the wizarding gene.
I'm guessing so. Yeah.
Through your seed.
Yeah. Also for the kids that's on Disney Channel and Disney Plus. Also for the kids on Tuesday on Netflix, Olivia Rodrigo, Guts World Tour. It's a concert special.
Okay.
And I'd recommend this because she's a bit of a rocker at heart, actually. And I saw her on Austin City Limits last year.
Really?
It was a great episode. She's really good.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a fan of 90s alt rock, and she likes guitars, and so I'd recommend this. Yeah.
Okay.
On Wednesday, JB Smoove. He has a new Prime Video series called Buy It Now. It's a competition series. It's a little Shark Tanky.
Okay.
Where entrepreneurs pitch a product to Amazon Prime, and we'll put it up to a committee of real people, and we'll vote on to see if we want to make this a product on Amazon. Yeah, and an entrepreneur could win $20,000.
Okay. Larry.
See, I wanted Curb Your Enthusiasm to continue with JB Smoove and call it Smoove Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, there we go.
I bet people talked about it.
I would have loved that, but no. Also on Wednesday on Netflix, Martha. It's a documentary from R.J. Cutler, who did The War Room and Belushi and a lot of other documentaries.
And about Martha Stewart?
About Martha Stewart, and she's seen it, and she does not care for it.
Oh, well, then that, it's
then
good.
you want to watch it, yeah.
What do you mean? if this is a smear job against Martha, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, Netflix on Thursday, Halloween, The Diplomat, Season 2, Kerry Russell.
Oh.
She's a U.S. ambassador to United Kingdom. It's actually a pretty good show.
I was going to say, I like her.
And Rufus Sewell are in this.
Okay.
And it's a little wonky, a little political.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always good, though.
Yeah, and also on Hallmark Plus.
What?
Yeah.
Extra Hallmark.
Yeah.
Is it sappier than Hallmark?
It used to be something else. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, yeah.
But it's now Hallmark Plus. A new series called Mistletoe Murders.
Ooh.
Combines those things that Hallmark does well, which is murder mysteries and Christmas.
Yeah, I can't believe it took
nobody
him.
beats Hallmark for Christmas, Bill.
I can't believe it took him this long to do this. This
Mistletoe
is a
murders.
no-brainer.
Yeah. On Friday, for you horror fans, you Chucky fans, a new documentary called Doc of Chucky. It claims to be the ultimate account of the Child's Play film franchise.
Okay.
I better let Ed know.
Who's doing this?
This is on Shudder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't know if he has Shudder, so.
Well, if he's not a real horror fan, if he doesn't have Shudder.
He shudders occasionally.
He's not necessarily a horror fan. He's a Chucky fan.
Well, still. This is a 5-hour documentary, by the way.
Wow. Good Lord.
Katie will watch it.
Yeah.
Which, and also on Disney Plus on Friday, music by John Williams, a documentary about legendary composer John Williams, produced by Steven Spielberg.
He's still with us, isn't he, John
Oh,
Williams?
yeah.
So, yeah. But here's the contrast. John Williams only gets an hour, whereas Chucky gets 5 hours.
5 hours.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I know. Chucky should have 6 or 7 hours.
And going to Saturday Night Live, we have a new one. John Mulaney and Chappell Roan.
Okay.
It'll be the last Saturday Night Live.
John Mulaney will come out and do a monologue.
Could be the last Saturday Night Live ever, and I'll see you all in the media re-education camps after the election.
Yeah, they'll round us up, for sure.
And also in sports.
Mr. Soros won't let that happen.
In sports on Saturday, WWE Crown Jewel on Peacock. It's the wrestling, America's only real sport.
Did you watch that McMahon documentary, by the way?
Not yet. It's on my list. I'm getting to it.
Okay. Just,
I did hear a podcast series about him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to know anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you find out about this guy. Oh, yeah. He's the worst.
Did I say Ed McMahon? I meant Vince McMahon.
You just said McMahon, but we knew who you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to see that expose on Ed McMahon.
Yeah, I'd see that, too. He's the worst.
And going to Sunday, we have a new series. This is on HBO Latino and also Max. It's a series remake of Like Water for Chocolate from 1993.
Okay.
But it's a series.
It's a series, yes.
Okay.
It's set during the Mexican Revolution. You know, there was a book, and then there was the really well-regarded 1993 movie. And, that's it for the news stuff this week. And, oh, my God, the Penguin.
It just keeps getting better. And it's such a good show.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got Agatha All Along, which is also...
Yeah, we were talking on the podcast when we were recording it last night that both Agatha All Along and the Penguin, which premiered the same week, are doing really big numbers in streaming.
And they're good.
Yes.
That's the other thing. I mean, this whole last episode of Agatha was all Patti LuPone. And just amazing. And the franchise is actually quite enjoyable, too, I have to say.
Okay, how does the Geek World feel about the franchise?
I don't know.
What is it about?
It's about the making of a movie franchise, superhero franchise.
A fictional one?
Critical of the Marvel universe.
It takes pot shots at not just Marvel but DC and all of them. And there was this last episode was about women superheroes, and the focus groups are saying no and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine Geek World being divided on this show because it shows how terrible things are behind the scenes.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it. Anyway.
Is there going to be another season of that? What's the movie about the guys who make the game, the video game? You know, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, Mythic,
yeah.
Mythic Quest.
Mythic. I think they're doing another season.
Probably.
I would hope so
because it did really well for Apple TV Plus.
All right. There you go. Thank you.
Damn.
Bill Frost. Thank you. BillFrost.tv.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, traffic, Gina.
Westbound SR 201, milepost 4, that's east of SR 202. The right lane is closed there. Crash southbound I-215 west, 7th north, milepost 23, right lane affected there. And let me check our message stream. No, you haven't sent anything in there, but if you see something out on the roads and you want to share it with everybody, and if it's safe for you to text, send it in at 33986.
All right. Thank you very much. We will take a break. We'll be back after some messages and a song with Beat Gina. Yes, it's time to play Beat Gina. Very easy to play, very easy to win. What is the prize?
Tickets to Tower of Terror at the Salt Lake Film Society's Broadway Center Cinema.
You get some of those movie passes, 877-602-9696. So call and play, and you'll win. 877-602-9696 with Beat Gina coming up after these messages and a song. Goldback.
Yes, Goldbacks. Listen, local currency made of 24-karat gold, offering a physical, spendable form of wealth protection. Goldbacks maintain their value because they are made from real gold. As the price of gold increases, so does the value of your Goldbacks. Plus, you can lease them through UPMA accounts to earn up to 3.5% annually on top of gold growth. Gold is very stable. Sometimes the dollar is not so stable. Gold will always retain its wealth. Shop at and support over 800 local Utah businesses while spending real gold. There are businesses you go in with your Goldbacks and you can spend them just like U.S. dollars. To learn more about Goldbacks and spending in physical gold, visit alpinegold.com. If you are an X96 listener, which I assume you are, right now, you must be. Use the promo code RADIO for free shipping on orders of over $200 Goldbacks.
I have something if you want.
What do you have?
Well, it's some people I understand. It's something that they love. They're very
Lists?
yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say cookies or something like that.
They do love cookies.
Pecan sandies or something.
Mm.
Anyway,
Most
all right.
people love cookies.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
It's a list of actors who almost lost their lives while filming.
Almost.
Almost.
Okay.
Okay.
See how many of these you know. Harrison Ford
Does not surprise me.
in his iconic role as Han Solo. Now imagine the hydraulic door of the Millennium Falcon falling on him. Yes, it happened. He broke his leg.
Mm-hmm.
You knew this,
Really?
Kerry Jackson.
Jeez.
This was during The Force Awakens.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
so he was older.
Yes.
Let's see. The next one is Orlando Bloom playing
Legolas?
Yeah, Legolas.
Mm-hmm.
While attempting to scale a rain-slick rock, he fell, narrowly avoiding what could have been a much worse fate. But Middle-earth's favorite elf still had many arrows left in his quiver and continued his quest. Let's see. Jason Statham,
Well,
Hollywood's go-to for high-octane sequences. He had an unexplained dive in the Black Sea after a truck's brakes failed. Using his real-life diving expertise, of course. Jason's the kind of, he's got skills outside of acting. He emerged wet but unharmed. But yeah, brakes failed and truck drove into the ocean. Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
You probably heard this story before from Kill Bill. Maybe you haven't.
When she was driving?
Yeah. Uma doesn't know how to drive.
Yeah.
And the bride actually does a lot of driving in the movie. Thurman said, okay, I'll do it. She tried to get out of do it, and Quentin was kind of an ass about it, I think, making her drive the car.
yeah.
She crashed into a palm tree. She had knee injuries and a concussion. And yeah, Quentin.
Well, I just rewatched those recently, actually, and there's a couple of scenes where she pulls up in the car in front of Bill's house, and when she stops to talk to a guy who knows where Bill is. And, yeah.
But I mean, that's what stunt people are for.
Yeah.
Do you really
I would
need
think
Uma
you could do
Thurman
that.
driving?
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox, in an eerily realistic hanging scene, Fox misjudged his prop and genuinely started choking. This is from Back to the Future Part 3, a Wild Westy one. A sharp-eyed crew member said, wait a minute, he's not acting. He's really choking.
Man, he's a good actor.
He really looks like
He's really believable.
Johnny Depp in The Lone Ranger.
We were hoping that.
Attempting to ride his horse, he faced an unexpected fall and was almost trampled, narrowly dodging the hooves. Depp's tumble was more than just close. Of course, our good friends from Creature Encounters put had creatures around him too. Let's see, Isla Fisher in the movie Now You See Me. This was the magic one.
Yeah.
It was meant to be an amazing act of illusion. Isla Fisher went inside a water tank trying to make an escape, but fiction quickly turned to chilling reality. Fisher's chains truly trapped her. She felt like she was drowning and she was stuck under the water. She battled for air for an agonizing 3 minutes while the crew initially mistook her genuine panic for it's excellent acting. She is panicking. Thankfully, they fished her out. But let's see, we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This is from the movie Premium Rush. So he's a bike messenger in New York.
Yeah.
He was pedaling at a breakneck speed, but New York City's unpredictable nature struck. He found himself crashing right into the rear window of a taxi. He had 31 stitches from that.
Wow.
Charlize Theron and Anne Flux. She played an acrobatic assassin. While executing a series of complicated moves, she took a fall, severely injuring her neck. I've actually heard her talk about this. She was on that Smartless podcast talking about it. The recovery was intense, and she still deals with that to this day.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone in Rocky IV. I mean, it's a boxing movie.
Yeah.
Stallone asked co-star Dolph Lundgren to hit him for real. That was a mistake.
Yeah, you don't.
Lundgren accepted, landing a blow that sent Stallone to the ICU with his heart swelling.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Dolph Lundgren, again, was a real athlete before. He wasn't an actor.
And he's like genius level, apparently.
Yeah,
He's like super smart.
Yeah, he's a biochemist or something
Some kind
like
of
that.
thing like that, yeah.
Jackie Chan in Armor of God. He was supposed to do a daredevil leap from a castle wall to a tree.
Well, the Jackie Chan list could be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This
He's
entire
got
list.
several broken.
But yeah.
This one's bad, though. He had a skull fracture.
Yeah.
And he has a plastic plug in his skull to kind of hold it together. George Clooney in Syriana. His character was subjected to a brutal torture scene. George severely injured his spine during that scene. And again, same thing. He still deals with that to this day.
Not in Leatherheads?
Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
She was handcuffed and trapped in a submerged car. Same kind of thing we've seen before. The rising water levels. That she actually was having a hard time getting out of it. They had to intervene and rescue her from the submerged car. Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
This is jumping between buildings. You've heard this story before because he broke his ankle and it stopped filming for weeks and weeks and weeks.
He continued the scene with a broken ankle, but
Vigo in Lord of the Rings during the river scene. Mortensen was pulled from raging currents. He was stuck in the river, couldn't get out. Well, those, the armor's so heavy.
He did a fight scene in a movie called Eastern Promises, where he was totally nude in a steam room with knives, fighting with knives.
Nude with knives?
Yeah, and I just don't know how he. I mean, he's wrestling this other guy, and I thought, how is he not getting cut or hurt or geez?
He probably did. So there you go. There's your list.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
On this day, in 1982, INXS released the single Don't Change from their third studio album, Shabu Shaba. Beat Gina, brought to you by.
Brought to you by the Tower of Terror is back at Salt Lake Film Society's Broadway Center Cinema, featuring your favorite horror movies every weekend from now till November 2nd. Find tickets and the whole lineup by going to slfstix.org.
Well, don't change the channel now, because it's time for another episode of Beat Gina. I'm Beat Gina announcer Johnny Ola. I have something very personal to say.
Oh?
Are you suffering from gonorrhea? Well, I've got good news for you.
Huh?
Just purchase Robert French's injection.
Huh?
Just purchase Robert's French injection. Let me say that again. Robert's French injection.
Robert's French injection.
Robert's French injection.
Okay.
For the prompt and permanent cure of gonorrhea.
Really?
Robert's French injection is guaranteed not to cause stricture. Simply inject Robert's French injection 3 or 4 times a day.
Okay.
Send for Robert's French injection from W.D. Snedeker, 266 Greenwich Street, New York City, New York.
What is it?
Inject that gonorrhea away today with Robert's French injection.
Is it just antibiotic?
I don't know. Seems legit.
It's an injection for those who have
4 or 5
gonorrhea.
times a day.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times a day.
No, 3 or 4
Oh.
times.
Oh,
a
okay.
day.
All right.
5 times a day might be excessive.
Might be too much.
Well,
one too many.
Here's a man like the rest of us who's never had gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Your host, Kerry Jack.
Thank you, Johnny Ola, professional game show announcer.
Not an ounce of gonorrhea.
Not an ounce.
No, there's not an ounce of gonorrhea here. in
All
this
right. The randomizer has picked a contestant. Gina, you'll be going up against Kira today.
Hi, Kira.
Oh, there's Kira. There she is.
Hello, Kira.
Kira?
Hello.
Hi, Kira.
That
All right,
was
Kira.
Olivia Newton-John's name in Xanadu.
Was it?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that, Kira?
Oh, I did not. No.
Now you do.
And you don't care, do you?
Nope. Parents.
No, that's pretty cool.
Oh, parents are Star Trek fans, I'm guessing. All right, let's.
No, it's named after the Dark Crystal by Jim Henson.
Oh, even deeper. Wow. Okay. All right. We'll toss a coin to see who goes first. It will give you an advantage in the game. You call it heads or tails, Kira.
Tails.
All right. Let's see what happens. It is heads, which means Gina goes first.
You're one step further away from getting these tickets to Tower of Terror at Salt Lake Film Society's Broadway Center Cinema.
All right. Now, if Gina beats you, what are you prepared to do in her name?
I was going to donate to Utah's No More Homeless Pets.
Okay. That's a nice cause. Thank you. And, but of course, if you beat Gina, you'll get those movie tickets. All right. It is multiple choice pop culture trivia. First question for Gina. If she answers it correctly, she gets the point. If not, I hope you were paying attention, Kira, because that means the question will go to you. You answer it correctly, you'll steal the point away from Gina. We'll go back and forth till one of you gets 3 points. We have leftover trivia questions. I'll let you start, Gina. Your choice of topic.
Oh, okay.
Halloween, the movie, or Reservoir Dogs, the movie.
Well, 'tis the season.
All right,
Halloween.
Halloween, the movie. We'll start there. Gina, John Carpenter, Tommy Lee Wallace, and Nick Castle, who all worked on the film,
Okay.
were all in a rock band together.
Oh,
What was the name of the band?
okay.
Was it 1, the Coupe de Villes? Was it 2, Psychopathogen? Was it 3, Baloney Sunset? Or was it 4, Dinkleberry Chapstick?
I'm going to go with Coupe de Ville.
Coupe de Villes is correct.
There's a point for Gina. Now we go to
Kira. Kira? According to Kira, here's your question. According to screenwriter producer Deborah Hill, the character Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, was named after John Carpenter's what? Was it 1, first grade teacher? Was it 2, first girlfriend? 3, friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another? You've been messing around. Or 4, John Carpenter's personal grape peeler?
Number 2.
First girlfriend is correct.
All right. 1-1. Back to Gina.
Gina.
Yeah.
What celebrity does Laurie Strode have a poster of on her wall? Is it 1, Nigel Tufnell? Is it 2, James Ensor? Is it 3, B. Arthur? Or is it 4, Mick Jagger?
I don't know who James Ensor is. So that's either a joke or that's it. What? I can't tell. Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger?
No.
Sorry.
No.
Terribly sorry.
Kira.
Can you repeat the answers one more time?
Is it 1, Nigel Tufnell, 2, James Ensor, or 3, B. Arthur?
Number 1.
Nigel Tufnell? No, that's her husband.
Who's James Ensor?
I didn't know either. I had to look him up.
I feel better
He's an
that you
actor.
didn't know either.
No, he's a Belgian expressionist painter. For some
What?
reason, that's who was up on the wall.
Okay.
I'm only as good as what the
I'm
internet
just glad
tells
you
me.
didn't know either.
Yeah.
All right, 1-1. Kira controls the question.
Kira, we're moving on to Reservoir Dogs trivia.
Okay.
All right, Kira. Reservoir Dogs is Quentin Tarantino's film that is what? Is it 1, the shortest? Is it 2, there was a good reason why this story was untold, it should have remained that way? 3, lowest grossing? 4, Pauly Shore could watch this movie and based solely on the fact that he's not in it, stop feeling the intense shame that must overwhelm him every day?
Number 2.
There was a good reason why this story was untold and it should have remained that way? Terribly sorry.
Lowest grossing.
Lowest grossing is not
No?
correct.
No.
It's the shortest.
What's his lowest grossing?
I don't know.
Huh.
Probably Jackie Brown.
Could be. Could be.
Yeah.
Good guess.
Let's. Gina's. It's 1-1. Gina controls the question.
All right.
Gina.
Okay, let's do this.
Quentin Tarantino was able to fund the movie Reservoir Dogs from an appearance he made on what TV show? Was it 1, Star Trek The Next Generation, The Bonnie Situation?
Okay.
2, X-Files, the episode Small Potatoes?
Okay.
3, The Golden Girls, episode Sophia's Wedding Part 1? Or 4, Andy Griffith, Otis Gets His Groove Back?
Is he on Star? X-Files.
X-Files, Small Potatoes? Terribly sorry.
Kira, please get this one. It's still 1-1. Time's are wasted.
Okay. Repeat the question and answers for me one more time.
All right,
I'm so sorry.
the answers are, the question is Tarantino was able to fund Reservoir Dogs from an appearance he made on what TV show? Was it 1, Star Trek The Next Generation, episode The Bonnie Situation? 3, Golden Girls, Sophia's Wedding Part 1? Or 4, Andy Griffith, Otis Gets His Groove Back?
Golden Girls?
Yes.
Golden Girls is correct, yes.
It's 2-1. And Kira, I believe you control the question, so you could win on this one.
All right. Reservoir Dogs was voted by Premiere Magazine as one of what? Is it 1, worst Star Wars prequels? 2, the 25 most dangerous movies? 3, raunchiest films of all times? Or 4, have we got crotches for you?
I'm going to have to go with number 1.
Worst Star Wars prequels? Are you even trying?
She doesn't
Kira?
know.
She doesn't know.
I don't know. I have no idea what that movie is, so I'm going to be honest. I have no clue.
Okay, Gina?
Number 2.
Most dangerous movies.
All right, it's 2-2.
I'm sorry.
Good Lord.
Gina, you control the question.
I got to make these questions dumber.
But we just have to find smarter contestants.
For that. All right. Jean-Claude Van Damme trivia.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He claims that he learned English from watching which TV show?
Okay.
Is it 1, Gilligan's Island?
Mhm.
Is it 2, The Flintstones?
Mhm.
Is it 3, My One Dad? Or 4, Operation Hell on Earth starring famous Mortimer?
The Flintstones.
Flintstones.
I was going to ask Kira if do you have any idea who Jean-Claude Van Damme is, Kira?
Nope.
It's okay.
You know what? You don't have to because you win anyway.
Yeah, we're just going to...
You're a good sport, Kira.
We're just going to give you the tickets.
You'll get the tickets to Selig Film Society's Broadway Center Cinema's Tower of Terror.
Thanks, Kira.
Hang on the line.
Oh, listen, I just had a call from my doctor. Apparently, I need an injection of some sort. I've got to go.
News brought to you by...
Prepare for a spine-tingling, family-friendly adventure laser Halloween at Clark Planetarium. Immerse yourself in a dazzling world of light, laughter, and fright. All ages spooktacular show runs every evening at 7 p.m. through October. Get tickets at clarkplanetarium.org.
Well, Pixies duo, Joey Santiago and Dave Lovering, have heaped praise on the band's new bass player, Emma Richardson, and have made a tongue-in-cheek plea to open for Oasis when the reunited Gallagher brothers play the Los Angeles area next year. The new Pixies album, The Night the Zombies Came, is out now, with classic rock saying this album drops its bombs with honed precision. It's the band's 10th album. Have you listened to it at all?
I haven't heard it yet, no. What's it called again?
It's called, I'm sorry.
The Day the Zombies Came?
The Night the Zombies Came.
All right, let me
it is, it says, it's their 10th album, first to feature Emma on bass after she replaced Paz Lenchetton earlier this year. Guitarist Santiago and drummer Lovering say former Band of Skulls member Richardson has also taken the Pixies to a new level as far as they're concerned. She plays really well. She sings really well. She's making us play well because of that.
A lot of songs on the album.
I'd like to hear more with her singing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of songs here, so I wouldn't know.
Does
which
it look
one.
like they're all sort of horror themed?
Yeah, Jane, The Night the Zombies Came, Chicken, Hypnotized, Johnny Goodman, Motorola, I Hear You Mary, Oyster Beds, Mercy Me, Ernest Evans, Kings of the Prairie, and The Vegas Suite.
Pixies.
We'll have to listen to it today.
All right. Let's see. 3 passengers in an airplane crashed in a remote part of Arizona on Sunday, and all 3 survived and were able to hike to safety. The plane had taken off from St. George Regional Airport. The private airplane that departed Sunday crashed about 3 miles south of the Utah-Arizona border, said St. George Fire Chief Robert Stoker. The 3 occupants were able to get out of the crash plane and hike to a fire command post. Investigators were notified about 6:15 p.m. The plane had lots of fuel, and it's on fire, Stoker said. It caught on fire when it crash landed. Due to a lack of road access in the area where the plane crashed, fire crews couldn't access the area with their brush trucks. Fire crews were shuttled to the location of the crash with the help of citizens and their personal off-road vehicles. The crews were letting the plane burn and were working to keep the fire contained. There was a video of the crash. Somebody saw it from a distance.
We have a picture of it at x96.com/live.
So on the left, what you're seeing there, the plane is skidding along the ground. So they managed to, I don't know exactly what went wrong, but they managed to sort of belly land it. And it skidded along the ground, and then I assume they jumped out before the fire started. Pretty remarkable that they were not killed and were actually well enough to hike to the road themselves. A local theater is spreading hope, one performance at a time. This time, the Hope Box Theater in Kaysville is stepping up to the plate to help one of their own. Kendra Reese plays the bass guitar with her partner, Ken, in the band Silence the Critic. Oh, it's another female bass player. Interesting. I actually love playing the bass because I can dance and play the bass at the same time, she said. A couple of months ago, she got to perform at the Hope Box Theater during their production of Oliver. That, to me, was a dream come true because I've always wanted to participate, and that was my chance to do it, she said. This place is very special, said founder Jan Williams. We come together and do something pretty miraculously. We put on these productions here at the Hope Box Theater. For every production at the Hope Box Theater, a portion of ticket sales and all the funds raised by scanning a QR code or dropping cash in a box goes to someone in the community battling cancer. I can't tell you how many times I hear, "You have no idea what this means to our family," said Williams. She has fought cancer 4 times. She founded Hope Box Theater when the idea struck her after a group sang for her at her doorstep when she had cancer for the 3rd time. So I think that's nice. They call it the Hope Box Theater because it's dedicated to donating proceeds from their productions to cancer, people who are fighting cancer. The Utah Olympic Oval will no longer host 2 international events because of an issue with safety equipment. The Olympic venue has hosted several national and international competitions over the years without any issues. Officials said a problem with the supply chain issue led to the decision to move the events. The second short track World Stop Tour was set to begin at the Oval on Friday. It's now being held in Montreal. The International Skating Union 4 Continents Championships was set for November 8th and 9th, canceled. The events were impacted by a padding issue. This is very unclear.
I think when they're talking about a supply chain issue, it sounds like they probably ordered what they need to fix it, but it can't get here.
What it is a padding system.
Yeah.
So I assume it's the padding that goes around the inside in case there are crashes and people go into they needed new padding to meet the
requirements.
The requirements, the guidelines by the International Committee. They couldn't get the stuff in time, and so they have to move. This is such a bad idea. A memo circulating among at least half a dozen advisors to Donald Trump recommends that if he's elected, he bypass traditional background checks by law enforcement officials and immediately grant security clearance to a large number of his appointees after he's sworn in. Just no background checks. They're my friends is good enough for me.
That's a terrible idea.
Yes, it certainly is. The proposal is being promoted by a small group, including Boris Epshteyn, a top legal advisor to Mr. Trump.
All the Project 2025ers.
Who was influential in its development, according to the three people. It's not clear whether Trump has even seen the proposal or whether he's inclined to adopt it if he takes off. If they tell him to do it, he'll do it.
Yeah.
But it would allow him to quickly install loyalists in major positions without subjecting them to the risk of long-running, intrusive background checks from the FBI.
Oh, those pesky backgrounds.
Potentially increasing the risks of people with problematic histories or ties to other nations being given influential White House roles.
Duh.
I don't know. The FBI background checks, it's still, you got Brett Kavanaugh. You know? I mean.
Yeah, but that was during a Trump administration.
Yeah.
So it may not have been as stringent.
President Trump also has come under fire for using the name of a famous Native American as a slur at an event honoring Native Americans for their service as code talkers in World War II. Trump turned to his often used insult of Pocahontas to slam Senator Elizabeth Warren,
which he claims, using that?
Oh, yeah.
Any chance he can get.
Which he claims has embellished her purported Native American heritage. Trump repeated attacks on Warren come despite his own family's past efforts to hide their heritage.
Yep.
For years, the Trump family tried to hide the fact that they were German immigrants.
Yes. The name is Drumpf with a D.
Yeah.
They changed it.
DRUMPF?
PFH or something?
PF, I think.
Yeah, PF.
Drumpf. Yeah.
But
Donald Drumpf.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
right. Sports weather traffic.
Okay, Utah Hockey Club It's home ice tonight. Bill, puck drops at 7 with the San Jose Sharks. Utah Jazz are on the road at Dallas Mavericks. That is at 6:30 tonight. And the World Series, Dodgers lead at 2-0. They play today at 6 o'clock.
The puck drop.
Puck drops on the World Series at 6 o'clock. Okay. That's your sports weather. So 63. That's going to feel pretty warm compared to tomorrow. Overnight, 20% chance of showers. Tomorrow, 80% chance. Could start out as rain and switch over to snow if it gets cold enough, or if you live up by Kerry Jackson on Mount Doom. 80% chance of that. Lasting through Tuesday, a little bit into Wednesday possibly. We stay cold down into the 40s is all the warmer we'll get. Overnight lows in the 30s. Looks like another round of showers coming in Thursday night into Friday. Traffic, we have a crash northbound I-15 41st south, milepost 302. It's off to the left shoulder. And let me see if anybody sent anything in via text at 33986. No, but if you see something, please share it with us and I will pass it along. We appreciate your help. Just make sure you're safe enough to text 33986. Nightingale College provides the opportunity for an ideal work-life balance from the comfort of your home with 100% online nursing classes and no waiting list. Become a Nightingale nurse. Apply for their upcoming spring semester at nightingale.edu.
All right, we will take a break. We'll be back after this with some geek news, and then the Boner recap game is all coming up. Stand by for that. Hoops Vision Correction, HOOPES Vision.com.
Our good friends at Hoops Vision, if you've been considering what Carrie and I both have done and our family members have done, that's getting LASIK correction, vision correction, but you haven't committed to doing it, well, this is the time with the end of the year coming up. Do it before the end of the year.
I mean, nobody loves their contact lenses.
No.
Be honest.
No. Or their glasses. Just get rid of all that stuff. Go to Hoops Vision. And right now they are offering $1,200 off. A $1,200 discount. I think that's their biggest discount ever.
That's pretty big.
So you can enjoy better vision for less money, whether you're nearsighted or farsighted, whether you have astigmatism. Hoops Advanced LASIK procedure can help you achieve better vision today. Now, if you have any remaining flex money, that kind of end-of-the-year stuff, you can use that for your procedure. So make your appointment now. Get the $1,200 discount. Go to hoopsvision.com or call them 877-30-LASIK. It's Hoops Vision.
Just for Gina, I'm so excited about this Halloween because Gina loves like Kit Kats, and Twix, popcorn.
Yes,
right. I have Halloween candy, cheese and wine pairings all together. So you do if you have your Kit Kats.
Yeah.
See, this is lost on you though.
I mean, the cheese part is, but not the candy.
You go with the triple cream brie.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And pair that with Prosecco.
I could see where that would be good if you liked the cheese part.
So like a Twix bar.
Yeah.
You get yourself a blue cheese and pair it with Merlot. Caramel popcorn. Go with an aged Gouda or Gouda. That's how you're supposed to say it.
Yes.
But here in America, we say Gouda. Pair that with a hard cider.
You know, if you've done one of Jimmy the Wine Guy's, he does all kinds of different pairings that he'll come to your home and do a.
He will.
And one of the things he does, believe it or not, is with popcorn.
Oh yeah.
Popcorn and wine.
He does a whole popcorn and wine pairing.
Which
thing.
You wouldn't think that would be a thing, but it's a thing.
It's delicious.
What candy would pair with all the Miller Lights that I have hanging out in my house?
Well, I just had the hard cider. That's
close.
That's
No, it's the same
sweet.
color.
A little too sweet.
Miller Lite, really?
I don't have any beer pairings.
It's left over from a party.
Terribly sorry. Butterfinger.
Okay.
And sharp cheddar. Pair that with a Cabernet Sauvignon.
I could see a Butterfinger in a cab.
You get a Snickers with a Gruyere. Pair that with a Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
Crunch Bar, Nestle's Crunch Bar.
I haven't had a Crunch Bar in a long time.
You pair that with Camembert and Champagne.
Oh.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Yes.
With a Manchego cheese.
Okay.
Pair with a Rioja wine.
Oh.
Delicious.
I have the Halloween candy at home, so I could experiment with this.
You could.
I have a half-open Corona from the other day. That I
You
could
should
also
get
use
rid
to
of that.
experiment.
That won't keep very well.
It's still cold.
It's still cold.
I didn't put a lime in it, so...
Oh, yeah. See,
Lime's expensive.
Yeah.
He didn't taint it with a lime, so he's fine.
603-986.
All right. Geek News brought to you by
Haster Games for board games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, miniatures, dice paints, and more. Haster Games, 6831 South State, or HasterGames.com.
All right. Well, the popcorn bucket wars continue.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Now, we had the Dune.
That's the classic.
That's the
The sandworm.
I was
one.
just like, after that one, let's not even
why
try.
even?
But then Deadpool and Wolverine came along, and they did their best to outdo it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what they're doing now is popcorn buckets because they got to make their money somehow. Well, coming exclusively to Cinemark theaters,
Okay.
the Gladiator 2 popcorn bucket.
So it just looks like the Coliseum.
But wait.
Oh, no. Does it do something
There's
else?
more.
Okay.
Now, see, out of all the popcorn buckets, that one looks like a bucket.
Yeah.
It's just the Roman Colosseum.
Yeah.
All right. But it isn't just shaped like the Roman Colosseum. It also has an AR element that allows you to watch an actual battle happen inside the Colosseum itself.
Okay, that's cool.
How does this?
Here, so the idea is you order your popcorn bucket, finish the popcorn, then after the movie, see, this is the problem I have with it.
Oh.
Scan the AR code with your phone, and then you can watch the battle on your phone in the popcorn bucket.
Okay.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I like
mean,
it.
But my problem is that you're going to be whipping out your phone during the movie, and that bright light is going to be bothersome. And anyway. So I'm for this, but against it. I'm for it and against it.
I'm something.
I'm something. I got an opinion. November 22nd is when that is in theaters, and by all accounts, it's just getting great notice. All right. This Running Man movie is shaping up to be very interesting. So I've been telling you about the casting and everything. as we
The
go
original
along.
was, as I recall, I enjoyed it.
It was just dumb fun, you know.
Yeah.
But they've added Michael Cera to it now.
Now, is it a comedy? What?
Well,
now
I think it's going to have comedic elements.
Okay.
I do. So it's Michael Cera and Emilia Jones are going to join the cast. Both actors have closed deals to join Glenn Powell, Paramount's adaptation of Stephen King's story that is being directed by Edgar Wright.
So knows what he's doing.
So for Cera, the movie reunites him with Scott Pilgrim. It's a Scott Pilgrim reunion for him and the director. Emilia Jones will be playing a privileged woman blind to the oppression of the government opposite Powell's Richards. So she's Karen. And Michael Cera will play a naive rebel who tries to help the desperate man win the game and get his kid.
It's all right.
So November 21st of 2025. So that'll be interesting. If you can find a copy of the original, I don't know if it's that easy to find.
Let me see.
Take a look and see, because I'd love to watch it again. Just to see Arnold running around with Yaphet Kotto in the spandex. All right. And again, Star Wars has got a problem.
What?
Well, they were planning on another movie that would take place after this last trilogy that just happened, and it was going to be a movie about Rey. Lost the screenwriter again. Stephen Knight has parted ways with Lucasfilm and Charmin Obaid-Chinoy's planned Rey movie. It's the latest writer to depart the project after he replaced the original screenwriters Damon Lindelof, Justin Britt Gibson back in March of 2023. At the time, Knight signed on to pen the script. The nature of the project was unknown until it was confirmed months later that it would be Daisy Ridley returning as Rey Skywalker. And once again, he's walked away due to creative differences.
You can find Running Man any number of places. Paramount Plus, Amazon Prime, Hulu, YouTube. It is widely available.
Then I will watch it sometime this week, just to refresh my memory and see Richard Dawson in action again. And finally, this.
Start running!
Do you remember when you were in school? It was an educational game called Oregon Trail.
Yeah. Oh, my kids played that as well. Liked it quite a bit.
You have died of dysentery.
Yeah.
You ready for a movie version of the Oregon Trail?
I'm surprised it's taken this long.
I don't know why we need it.
Well, it was an Apple computer game.
Yeah, now is it going to be that animation?
No, it'll be Apple Plus,
okay.
and it's going to have live people in it, and it's going to be directed by the Lucas brothers, who did Judas and the Black Messiah. They're award-winning. Max Reisman set to pen the screenplay. The game is meant to mimic the 19th century pioneer times following a covered wagon heading west. Created in 1971, the game reached cult status among American grade schoolers by the 90s as one of the first educational computer games allowed in school, and for its hilariously dark storylines filled with broken arms, typhoid, and dysentery.
Yeah, they loved
That's
it.
the favorite, is the dysentery.
So of course, if you're playing the game, get all the ammo you can.
Is that the hack?
That's one of the hacks. Get all the ammo you can. All right, so there you go. Patton Oswalt says he's trying out for the part of dysentery. Very exciting. Terrific.
Crash northbound I-15, 41st South, milepost 302. It's off to the left shoulder. We've just had a really good commute this morning. We have had no major hiccups or issues, and you haven't sent anything either. But if you see something, let us know, 33986. Make the music better for you by taking the Utah Music Survey on x96.com. By participating, you'll be eligible to win $1,000. People with worse taste in music are doing the survey, so make sure your opinion is heard. Take the Utah Music Survey at x96.com. Eligible.
Stop complaining about the music that we play. Take the music survey and weigh in.
Yeah.
All right?
Todd actually pays attention to it.
Yes. It actually affects the music we play. It's not just a thing. All right?
It's not busy work.
No, believe me. We'd find something else to do. We'd play Oregon Trail instead. All right, we will take a break, play a song. After that song, it is time for the Boner Recap Game. Easy to play, easy to win. All you have to do is tell us who won the Boner today. If you were listening, you know. If you weren't listening, I'll bet you could guess today.
Yeah.
But why take that chance? Go ahead and cheat. Go to x96.com and look for the box that says Boner Voting. October 28th, 2024. Click on there, and it'll say winner next to the winner. What is the prize?
Tickets to see They Might Be Giants June 10th at the Depot.
They Might Be Giants tickets for the Boner Recap Game. 877-602-9696 is the number to call to play. Huckleberry Grill, if you're in the mood to try one of the best Salt Lake restaurants, how about absolutely free?
What?
Chef Eric at Huckleberry Grill wants to treat 50 X96 listeners to a free, delicious homemade meal like the signature Huckleberry pork and the cold smoked tri-tip steak topped with delicious port reduction. Be one of the 50 X96 listeners who gets a free entree this week only and enjoy one of these fantastic entrees for free. Favorite sides like mashed potatoes with whipped cream with confit garlic and Parmesan. Sweet potatoes topped with crushed pecan brittle, crispy Brussels sprouts drizzled with honey chipotle mustard and candy bacon crumbles, mouth-watering desserts like the Huckleberry chocolate mousse or the Supreme Pie, comfort food for the whole family at fast food prices. But this week only, the first 50 X96 listeners get to try a full entree for free, thanks to Chef Eric.
So do you just go into Huckleberry and say, I listen to X96?
Go in and say, I listen to X96, or
That's
mention
easy.
Radio from Hell, and you'll get the entree for free.
Wow.
The first 50 people who do that. So here's the address for Huckleberry Grill, finest comfort food. 335 West, 1830 South. Terms and conditions apply.
So I was telling you about the little cat we are fostering.
Binky?
That's the name of the cat came with. There's Binky, x96.com/live. The first picture I showed you, I didn't have a picture of her surgery. And I still don't know why she lost her leg, her right hind leg. But that's the surgery. And it's so amazing to me that she does not seem to mind this at all. The only thing she doesn't like is the collar, the cone, the cone of shame. And if you reach in there and you scratch her around the chin and around the side of the head, she will not leave you alone for a while.
So we had our vet friend, Dr. Davis, on and asking him about animals losing limbs. And he said, actually, dogs and cats do really well.
It's kind of
adapt.
And it's kind of interesting. It's like you think, why aren't you depressed? Or why aren't you sad? Or why aren't you moping around? Because that's what humans do.
Yeah.
Most humans. I mean, if I lost a limb, I'd be bummed for weeks.
I wonder if they get phantom limb syndrome, because I know when people lose limbs, they can have like sensation, like it feels like it's still there. But
you know what the big problem with this is for this little cat? The litter box.
Oh, that would be.
How?
Now, I haven't watched her do this, but I can hear her in the other room.
Yeah.
She spends quite a bit of time scratching around in there.
Yeah.
And then
But can she hold herself up?
I don't know how. I haven't watched to see how. But you can tell that's the difficulty because she scratches and around. She's, most cats just, they go in a couple of scratches, do their business, and they're done. She's in there just scratching and scratching and scratching in the litter box, and she's using it because I have to go clean it out.
So you're fostering her till she heals from this, and then she'll be up for adoption?
Yeah.
So if somebody's interested in adopting her, how do they do that?
The Humane Society. It'll be a while yet, and I'll tell you more about it because she has to go back to the Humane Society or back to the vet to be spayed.
Oh.
They didn't just do all that at once? That's
no, I
too
think
much?
that was a little much. So next week she'll go back and be spayed and have those staples. They just look so painful to me.
They do.
But she'll have the staples removed and she'll be spayed. And it just, again, it's amazing to me. She just goes about her business and she's really, she loves having as I said, the scratch around the neck, and she'll bother you a little bit to keep. She wants you to keep doing that, but if you stop and say, go, I've got stuff to do here, then she'll just go, oh, okay, and go away and sit in a chair or something.
My neighbors used to have a donkey that only had 3 legs. They named it Wonky.
The Wonky Donkey.
Oh, here's one. I got breast reduction surgery and had phantom boob syndrome.
What?
Oh, that's not true, sir.
I think they do have phantom leg syndrome. Well, it's called phantom limb. My dog had her front amputated a few years ago, and in her sleep she would run, and you could see the muscles in her chest twitch on the amputated side.
Yeah.
She also still shakes with that side. That was her dominant arm.
Oh, you like shake hands? Huh?
Yeah. Oh, and Sid, who's a vet tech. My old boss used to say that pets are built with 3 legs and a backup.
An extra.
Yeah. Well, that dog that I rescued and then gave to my brother had 3 legs, and that dog was an escape artist. My brother Scott did everything he could to keep that dog in the yard, and he built the fences high, and the dog would find ways to get out and run away. Loved to run. And I don't know how he did it.
Gina's sign-off is, we called it Wonky.
Wonky. Wonky the Donkey.
And Wonky the Donkey apparently is a book? Oh,
maybe.
Well, all right. If not, it should be.
Is it an okay book for kids? I don't know if we should be promoting it.
I mean, how is the donkey wonky?
Well, that's what
if you know what I mean. Never fails to amuse.
I like that one, and I like this one. 2.
Is that the same cat?
Different cat.
This little cat has a really nice, distinctive meow, and it's a questioning.
It goes
meow.
up at the end?
Yeah, it's like
Meow.
meow.
On this day, in 1986, XTC released their 9th studio album, Skylarking. A lot of songs on this one. Earn Enough for Us, The Meeting Place, That's Really Super Supergirl, Grass, Summer's Cauldron, and, of course, Dear God.
Liz in Salem.
Salem.
Wanted to know, how do you spell XTC?
XTC.
Yeah, Liz.
Come on, Liz.
In Salem.
In Salem.
They tried to make that song even more dramatic, but they just couldn't. They tried. God. It's not my. I like XTC a lot, except for that song. Not one of my favorites.
I think it's my favorite, XTC.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, time for the Boner recap.
Yes, indeed. Do we have somebody who would like to play that?
Let me see. I know that the randomizer has picked a contestant, and I believe it is Brian.
Hello, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Brian, you could win a prize if you can identify the Boner winner. Who is, or what is the prize, Gina?
Tickets to They Might Be Giants, June 10th at the Depot.
They put on an excellent show. So, Brian, I'm going to read you the 3 Boner candidates. You tell me which of these 3 was the ultimate winner, and you will win those tickets, and it should be pretty easy to do, even if you didn't hear them earlier. But did you?
I did.
Simple. Boner candidate number 1, Brian, was, I put it in a small bag along with a note saying, I love you. It was very emotional. This is the story of a young woman in Mexico. She's a body modification person, does tattoos and piercings, and she decided it would be so romantic to have her belly button surgically removed and give it to her boyfriend.
Her former boyfriend.
Which she did. Well, he wasn't former boyfriend at the time. They were together at the time. But Gina, I would tell you, even though they've broken up, she says, we're still very good friends. I love him, but not as a lover. We're still just very good friends. So that was Boner candidate number 1. Boner candidate number 2, where's the cauliflower ear? Where is the foot infection? This is the story of a family, poor family. They go to see their father's body at the funeral home, and there's somebody else in the casket wearing their father's clothes. That's not our father. Yes, it is. The funeral parlor insists that it's Their father. They said it can't be him. He had cauliflower ear. He had a foot infection that was visible. So, and then there was boner candidate number 3. Who's that jackwad? That's what Tim Walz, who's running for vice president, said upon seeing the opening comedic act at the Donald Trump rally at Madison Square Garden.
Not funny.
Not funny. Racist to the extreme. And, yeah.
And Twitter is digging up some of his old tweets today.
Yeah, this is
He's
not
awful.
They knew what they were getting
Yeah,
when they
sure.
signed him up. And as Kerry said, which I thought was important to point out, they loaded that speech into the teleprompter. Somebody read it. It did not hit them out of left field.
The other thing that was my favorite at that rally was apparently Stephen Miller, Trump's trusted advisor, whose parents escaped the pogrom in Russia, and as Jews and had to flee the country, and finally made their way to America. Kept yelling, kept screaming, "America is for Americans, only for Americans." So
which is a throwback.
You know, his and his so his family wouldn't even been allowed into the country.
Germany is for Germans only.
Yeah. So there you go. Those were the 3 candidates. Brian, who was the winner?
Rightfully so, number 3.
Yeah. The title, by the way, "Who's That Jackwad?" That was Tim Walz when he heard that so-called comedian.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. You're going to go see They Might Be Giants. Hang on the line, and Katie will chat with you a moment about that.
Yeah, they're digging up a bunch of his old tweets and
Or even video clips of his performance. He's horrible.
He's not a comedian.
He is. So he performed at Madison Square Garden in front of thousands of people. And there are parts of his set that we cannot say here on the radio.
Yeah.
That is how disgusting they are.
He
We would get fined.
We would.
If we...
He tried to say, no, this was jokes. This was jokes. Listen, I go vacationing in Puerto Rico.
I have a black friend.
That's exactly.
My guess is you're not going to be welcome there anymore.
Yeah, you better find a new place to vacation. But it wasn't just him. It was after. I mean, he was an opener for what happened the entire evening of just awful.
And then, to go back to Donald Trump and the Joe Rogan podcast, 3 hours they sat there, and it went on so long. Trump he was supposed to be at a rally, and he kept people waiting at the rally, for I think it was 45 minutes or something like that, just so he could stay with Joe Rogan. And then he goes and if I were people at that rally, I would be just so pissed I couldn't.
I think it was more than 45 minutes. I want to say it was at least a couple of hours.
I don't know. Anyway, he went late.
Yeah.
They'll vote for him anyway.
All right. Well, we will take a break. We will be back after these messages with some big boy news and opinioendo. Stand by for all of that. Live at the Eccles.
Eliza Schlesinger live at the Eccles. This Saturday night, 2 shows at the Eccles. So you can see her at 7, or if you prefer, 9:30. She's bringing the Get Ready tour to the Eccles for 2 shows. Both shows will be recorded for a release for her latest live comedy special. Now, in addition to her stand-up, if you're not that familiar with her, she's written books. She's executive produced and starred in the feature Good on Paper, now streaming on Netflix. She recently co-starred on Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne, and she's in a movie called Spencer Confidential with Wahlberg on Netflix. Her name is Eliza Schlesinger. She's very funny, and you can see her at the Eccles Saturday night only. There are 2 shows, again, 7 o'clock and 9:30 p.m. You can get your tickets for Eliza Schlesinger by going to liveeccles.com.
Hi, I'm Todd Newcomb, urging you to listen. Dang it.
I have a lifesaver.
What kind?
I stole it from Jana's desk. It's those.
Oh,
She has them.
Is it Wint-O Green?
Is that what they call them? She has them on her desk all the time.
Wint-O Green?
I have a
Wint-O
pocket
Green?
full of them right now. I just grab a handful.
You grab?
Yeah.
No, they're not there for you to grab a handful. They're there for you to take one once in a while. It's not a handful.
I take a handful and then I don't take any more for a long time. What's the difference between taking one once in a while?
Do they still make the butter rum flavor ones?
Those are the best.
Yeah, they do.
Because those are the ones.
I almost bought a roll recently, as a matter of fact.
If you're gonna buy lifesavers, they should be
butter rum.
There was these weren't lifesavers; they were butterscotch discs. So they were some different brand, but
Not
without
as
a
good
hole.
Not as good as the butter rum.
Okay, so they have
Lifesavers.
the butter rum, pep-o-mint,
This just says lifesaver.
wild cherry, hard candy, 5 flavors, mints, orange mint. Wow.
I
Okay.
used to
and Wint-O Green.
Yeah, I used to like the tropical fruit. You could get a roll of tropical fruit flavored lifesavers. I don't know if they still have those. There's coconut and lime, and
I love those.
They're delicious.
I remember my
Banana.
my cousin Ray, the weird one.
Yeah.
We would exchange Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
I'd get him an action figure or something cool.
Yeah.
Every year. It's because his mother did it.
The Lifesaver
Aunt
book.
Shirley, the Lifesaver Sweet Storybook. Every year.
Well, Punk gave me one of those every year.
Yeah, but that's all he gave me.
Wasn't like that.
Oh,
and
Yeah. It wasn't that and something.
and an action
No, it was,
figure.
here. So I told Ray, I said, I'm not going to get you Christmas presents anymore. Why? Because your mother keeps giving me these
Lame.
every year. I don't want them. So just keep
Did you
them.
eat them though?
No.
No.
The butter rum. I ate the
Yeah.
butter rum, but the rest, I think
You
my
should
sister.
be able to get one of those that's all butter rum.
Yes.
It seems to me you could.
Okay, next time I'm at the store, I'm going to actually look
Okay.
for butter rum lifesavers.
I haven't thought about a butter rum lifesaver in a long time.
I'm going to look it up online. That's what I'm going to do.
Orange mint ones are good. Butter rum, you leftists sicken me.
Is that what it
the texture says?
That's my sign off today.
You leftists sicken me.
Left is sick in me. Me left. Okay.
It's Lifesavers Butter Rum Hard Candy Bulk. 20 single packs. You can have it by 6 today.
Amazon?
Yep.
Okay.
By 6 o'clock today.
Thank you, Robert. How much is that? Good heavens.
X96.
All right, 9:19, and it is time for Big Boy News and Opinioendo, brought to you by...
The State Room presents Making Live Music Memories. Check out Joanne Shaw Taylor's Heavy Soul Tour Tuesday, October 29th at the Rose Wagner Performing Arts Center. Get tickets at thestateroompresents.com.
According to Cottonwood Heights Police, National Guardsman Matthew Johnson has been missing since September 20th. This is the guy Gina's been telling us about who was murdered, allegedly murdered by his wife, Jennifer Gledhill. A former FBI agent is explaining now, saying, you better find the body soon because weather is going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Most of the technologies they're using, radar detection, rely heavily on heat sensors, said retired agent Greg Rogers. Mr. Johnson's wife, Jennifer Gledhill, is charged with his murder. After weeks of searching, several agencies are still looking for Mr. Johnson's body. Police officials told Fox News that they've been searching since October 3rd. Now, Rogers, who was in the FBI for 25 years, shared that weather could impact the ongoing search. A decaying body lets off a good amount of heat, and so if the ground freezes, those technologies aren't very effective, he said. With cooler temperatures heading to Utah, future forensics might also be affected, depending on the method of the homicide. If there was a firearm involved, it's not going to impact that too much, but decomposition makes a big difference if there is strangulation or something like that. The sooner they find it, the better for forensics.
I mean, she told her boyfriend, I put him in the truck, and I drove north a little ways, and I buried him in a shallow grave. Now, that's what they're going on. Maybe she didn't do that. Maybe she said that to him, but she did something else with him.
Or maybe she was in such an awful state of mind, she just doesn't remember. She blindly drove somewhere and just didn't. So I was talking about this earlier, and I looked into it a little bit more. NFL athletes eat at least 80,000 Uncrustables a year.
You're fascinated by this.
I am, because I don't recall if I've ever even had one.
Well, you've never been a football player.
You could have one.
I know there's some out there, and there have been. I know. I might try one. So after collecting data at the end of 2023 season from 24 NFL teams who participated out of 32 teams, the Athletic is the outlet, learned that players easily go through at least 80,000 Uncrustables a year. When including games, practices, and training camps, that number of sandwiches would cover more than 18 yards of a football field. In a breakdown by team, the Denver Broncos handily topped the list, consuming 7,000 sandwiches a week. Seattle Seahawks come in second place with 3,200 consumed per week. Now, but this is where why I wanted to come back to the story. I found this interesting. Coincidentally, Uncrustables, which are marketed by Smuckers and found in frozen food aisles of the grocery stores, were invented by a retired football player.
So maybe they get a deal.
According to The Athletic, Len Kretschmann, a former wide receiver for North Dakota State University, went on to work with schools in the food service industry. In the 90s, his wife, Emily, suggested that he create a mass-produced peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the crust. The couple made the very first Uncrustable in their own kitchen, using a glass to press down on the bread and cut off the crust. They added a crimp to the sandwich edges. 4 years after introducing the product, Smuckers bought the company in 1999. The profitable...
Well, if a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
That's what they say. The profitable, quick fueling sandwiches eventually made their way to the NFL. Jeff Saturday, a former center for the Indianapolis Colts, called Uncrustables being a part of a spread of food laid out for players during Super Bowl week in 2007 ahead of the team's matchup against the Chicago Bears. We were scooping and scoring, he said, grabbing 5 and 6 at a time. Travis Kelce says he eats at least 2 Uncrustables every day on game day. I've got it now. I've got them.
Is it because
they're very convenient?
It's like sugar and some fat.
It's peanut butter
and some protein in there.
And they're convenient because, here's what one player said.
Okay.
You can, says Uncrustables, they're, when we throw them into a gym bag or a backpack, they hold up great.
Well, because they're frozen and then they kind of thaw.
They always find their way to the bottom. They get smashed by the playbook, but they're still edible, still in one compartment. Doesn't matter. You can throw your playbook on top of them. Doesn't make a difference. Squished, unsquished, you're going to crush it.
Andrew in the chat room says, I've heard they're amazing if you brush them with melted butter and put them in the air fryer for a few minutes.
I'm sure that's
healthy. Getting fancy.
Wow, toasted.
Colin Farrell took some time from his acting schedule on Sunday to have a couple of Uncrustables.
Oh, good.
To compete in the Dublin Marathon.
The Dublin Marathon.
While pushing an old friend in a wheelchair. The 41-year-old star ran the final 4 kilometers, that's 2.5 miles, of the 26-mile race, while pushing his friend Emma Fogarty, who lives with a rare skin condition, across the finishing line. Farrell, who was back home in Ireland for the marathon, aimed to raise funds for Deborah, an Irish charity supporting people who, like Fogarty, have the incurable genetic condition epidermolysis bullosa.
You're born without skin.
What?
Is that what it is? Epidermolysis bullosa, known as butterfly skin.
Ah.
Fogarty is in Ireland is oldest surviving person with the condition. She was born with no skin on her left foot, her right arm, and can develop very painful blisters from even the slightest touch.
Exactly.
She turned 40 in June, a milestone she thought she might not reach, having been born with the most severe form of the condition, which is why she and Colin Farrell pledged to take part together. Crowds roared their support as the Oscar-nominated actor, is currently starring in the miniseries The Penguin, met up with his friend in the late stage of the run on Sunday, and I guess he was running, and then she was there at the...
she was in a
wheelchair at the 2.5 mile mark, and as he got to that point, he
she didn't go the whole way with him.
Grabbed the chair and pushed her the last 2.5 miles. There's a really sweet photo of them, of him pushing her in the chair. Let's see. Do we have time still, or?
You got a couple of minutes.
Let's see. Let's do. Tim Burton says he avoids the internet. Says it makes him depressed.
Yeah.
I said, so what do you do? He says, I look at clouds. Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Pete.
They're actually really cool looking this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at them.
No, if I didn't have to keep up on stuff for my job, I would not look at the internet.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson is the king of tattoo removal. He stepped out.
Did you see the pictures?
I did not look at them closely.
There, side by side.
Oh, yeah.
Look at his arms.
Is this why we haven't seen him in a while?
Could be.
That's a lot.
This is x96.com/live.
Yeah, he decided to get rid of he had like an entire sleeve on his left arm and a half a sleeve on his right.
On his other, yeah.
And they're about gone, it looks like. That's I mean, that's kind of a painful process.
It is, yeah.
They laser them off, I think.
Mm-hmm. And it takes repeated visits, I think.
Here's good news. Andy Cohen confirms that CNN New Year's Eve, he and Anderson Cooper will be together again for the countdown to the new year. And they will be drinking. Well,
because there was a time they were told they couldn't.
Yeah.
Because they kept getting into
trouble. Kathy Griffin and...
trouble.
Kathy Griffin and Anderson Cooper got into some trouble.
No, that's why people watched, and CNN realized that and went, people are watching? Okay.
And here are the top 10 movies for the box office for the weekend. Starting at number 10, Transformers 1. Piece by Piece was number 9. Nora, a movie I'd like to see. Number 8. Stars that young woman who was... in Better Things, the oldest daughter in Better Things. And she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Apparently she's just brilliant in this movie, Nora.
Okay.
Beetlejuice, Terrifier, number 6. We Live in Time, number 5. Number 4, The Wild Robot. Number 3, Conclave. Got really great reviews. Movie about the Vatican and electing the next pope and all of that. Smile is number 2. Venom, The Last Dance. $51 million, not a huge amount, but enough to be number 1 at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Weather?
So today, warmest of the week, 63 for a high and 20% chance of showers. That bumps up to 80% overnight tonight into tomorrow, and it gets really cold, 36 overnight. Could even be cold enough in places for that rain to switch over to snow. Carrie's not going to have to shovel anything. It's not going to be like that, but the rain definitely happening and much colder, only 45 for a high tomorrow, 49 Wednesday. Looks like we have another round of storms that start up Thursday night, so it might be a little bit of a wet Halloween. They say slight chance of rain, so let's just hope for no. Haster Games, board games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, miniatures, dice paints, and more. Haster Games, 6831 South State, and HasterGames.com.
Don't miss a single moment of the radio.
Let's see.
I'm all full of olive juice.
Have you been drinking the olive juice? You're not supposed to.
You can. I've just been drinking it out of the bottle.
I think it might help my cold. But
The
by the
olive
way,
juice, really?
if people have
Yeah.
noticed I sound funny, I have a little cold. It is not COVID.
And I'll tell you, if I catch a cold because you're being here, I'm going to be very unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Hasn't the rule been since COVID? You really should even stay home if you have a cold.
But I feel bad because I was just gone for.
You could have worked from home.
You got the gear. It's all right. People are placing bets that you're going to call in Monday, though.
No. I'm fine. I'm fine. So fine.
I hope I don't have to call in Monday.
You're fine. We're all fine.
You know, colds are very contagious.
Yeah.
And we're here in a room.
I felt bad about not coming in.
How much worse will you feel when Carrie or I or both of us get sick?
I'll be fine.
I'm not going to get sick. I've gotten crazy about washing my hands to the point where it's almost obsessive. But I haven't gotten sick.
But you're breathing the air in here.
Here, I'll open the door.
It's not going to help because now Bill Riley is going to get his ice and. Oh no, that's at 8 o'clock. Sorry.
Yeah, it's past. Oh, it's past. Yeah.
But this is 9 o'clock now when people start to file in.
When person starts to
when
file.
Person
when a person starts to file.
One
in.
person file.
Yeah, a person files in.
A person.
To work. Hey, look, a person's working here. We've been really lucky with
persons
interns, though.
We really have.
I credit Katie for finding the good ones.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, Dawson even came back for a second round.
Yeah.
That's
we
really
didn't
weird.
beat him up enough the first time.
I appreciate the help because they find the questions for Beat Gina, and then I mutilate them.
I really almost don't know what they do because they work just behind the scenes, and Katie takes care of it.
I stay out of it.
They edit things. They post things. They answer phones.
All of the stuff that I've been exposed to when I do notice what they do fabulous work.
I do know that not one of them has gotten me coffee.
Not one.
That's not their job.
Which is very irritating. Well, I know it's not their job, but they could have offered.
They are busy.
All right.
The reason you don't see them is they're busy.
I'll go get my own coffee.
Oh, there's somebody's getting
Somebody's
ice.
running to get me
That's
coffee.
Bill Riley. He's an hour late.
You're late, Bill.
You're an hour late getting ice. All right.
X96.
All right. That's no way to lead into our guests here.
Oh, sorry.
We have a couple of guests in the studio. We've done we used to do this all the time, and Gina wanted to pick this up again this year.
I think it's a good opportunity to get to know candidates, and we don't call them and book it. We just say if you would like to come on the show for a few minutes and make your pitch, get a hold of Katie, and if we can fit you on, we'll fit you on.
We do that so we can get around the equal time, requirements. You know, if we
have to get a hold of
if
us.
we invite somebody, then we have to invite the opponent.
Yeah.
But if you guys just get a hold of us, it's fine. So we have here two women in the studio with us. First of all, we're going to talk to Sheila Srivastava.
Very good. That's impressive. Yeah.
That's right. Well, you told me off off air how to say it. So
I know it's still pretty good.
But I almost forgot. She's running for Salt Lake County Treasurer as a Democrat. She has experience that counts because she's the only certified public accountant running. It seems to me that you ought to be an accountant to be the county treasurer.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that a lot of people assume that that is a minimum requirement to run.
Yeah, you would think.
But in order to register to run for Salt Lake County Treasurer, you have to be a U.S. citizen, a Salt Lake County resident, and registered to vote. So that's it.
Do you have to know math?
No,
apparently not.
No, you don't have to. So the funny thing is that anybody, like my next door neighbor's kid who just started college, could come in and be Salt Lake County Treasurer.
Well, I've got a calculator. I can.
Yeah.
So what is the treasurer? That says to a treasurer, it seems to me, is the one who sits on top of all the money and counts it all the time, like
Exactly.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yes, that's me all the way.
I mean,
I'm
what
totally
does the
Scrooge
treasurer
McDuck.
do?
So the treasurer essentially oversees the entire financial process in the county. The biggest job is collecting and redistributing the money that comes in through property taxes. But in addition to that, there are other types of funding that comes through, and there's also a investment portfolio that we have to manage and look over. And so, the experience of having a CPA is really important with this.
So Sheila Srivastava, running for the treasurer, what is it that you see? Why do you think you should be treasurer? What problems do you see with the county treasury?
Well, I will say that I believe that we always need to get a new set of eyes on things every once in a while. And the truth is that we can always be more efficient. We can always be more transparent, and we can be friendlier, and we can be more respectful to the people who come in. I've heard a lot of people say that they can never get answers from the treasurer's office.
You're saying the incumbent, whoever that is not very friendly and is not very forthcoming with answers. And is he or she a CPA?
Actually, our current treasurer is Wayne Cushing, and he is retiring. And so it's an open seat.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Yeah. So that's actually really great opportunity for me to come in and be able to win this. And I'm not necessarily saying that any one person is that, but I've had a lot of people complain and say that they just never get answers. And in my background, I've been doing consulting for a long time. I've uncovered fraud. I have helped people with reporting that helps them make really good decisions for their community, which is all of us residents. And I think that getting information out so that people can understand it is one of the most important things that we can do, because just putting a 220-page financial statement up on our website isn't enough.
Yeah, because I'm not going to read it.
Right?
I mean,
Most people won't.
Yeah. How big of treasury do we have?
Well, we have a $2 billion budget that we are cycling through this year, and we have about $1 billion. I haven't looked at that, in a little bit, so don't quote me on it, but it's a pretty large investment portfolio. And the better we manage that investment portfolio and the more efficient we collect our taxes, the lower we can keep our rates for people. Plus, I also believe that there are several inefficiencies happening at, at our government. And I think that I can help make things better.
Are we invested in Apple? We should be invested in.
That's Bill's hot take.
I actually don't have privy to that information right now.
But that's it's very nice to meet you and talk to you, and I wish you the best of luck running for Treasury, to be the treasurer. You're not running to be the Treasury. Sheila Srivastava. She's a Democrat, and now we're going to talk to Aaron Ryder, who is running for county mayor. We know that the county mayor is Jenny Wilson, a Democrat. Therefore, you must be a Republican.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, why do you want to run for county mayor?
Well, Sheila just talked about the importance of having fresh eyes coming in and looking at things. At the county level, I'm running against someone who's been in office of the county government for 16 years. And if we look at the things that have happened in Salt Lake County over the last 16 years, we're talking housing prices have gone through the roof, property taxes that are so high that we now have people who are worried about losing their homes just because of their property tax bill.
Well, we need that money for the Treasury.
But again, if we manage our investments wisely, maybe we don't, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we've got issues there. We've got issues of homelessness. In just the last 6 years alone, the percentage of unsheltered people in the county has doubled. I mean, every single one of these issues that we're talking about on a county level has gotten worse in the last 16 years, not better.
I've been meaning to ask. I meant to ask you, as but I'll ask both of you. Where do you stand on the bond issue? The public, what's it called? The public
safety bond.
Public safety bond issue that's on the ballot.
Yeah, so I'm opposed to the bond. My concern with the bond is that right now, to ask for $500 million just to tear down one building and build another seems really out of touch with where people are financially. Also, this bond only covers the infrastructure costs of tearing down the one building and building a new building. It doesn't cover any of the operational expenses, which my opponent has pretty much admitted is going to require more taxes later. So we're not just talking $500 million. We're talking about $500 million plus the interest on that bond, plus additional taxes that are going to have to come. And by her own admission, there were other options on the table that didn't cost as much. So
but this is the one that everybody on the council agreed.
What they agreed to was to send it to the voters. So the voters ultimately get to decide this.
Sheila, what do you think about that?
So just to be clear, as the treasurer, I won't actually have a vote on these issues, but I do have a personal opinion. And I am actually very interested in helping our unhoused find shelter and a safe place so that they can actually get back out in the world. So I'm 100% in favor of the bond.
You're in favor of it. Okay.
Yes, there's a lot of there are programs in place to help the homeless there. Yeah. So,
Aaron, just to go back to you now quickly, running for county mayor as a Republican, you've talked about the health of the county financially. What do you think needs to be done to make this a better place to live?
Yeah, well, what I'd like to do is to do a full audit of the county's budget and operations. We talked about the $2 billion budget that the county has. I want to make sure we're using those tax dollars wisely. Salt Lake County looks very different today than it did 16 years ago, and the government needs to adapt to that change and to look at where we need to go down the road as opposed to where we've been. So I also want to put in place a 10-year plan for growth and development in the county. And as part of that, we look at how do we address housing issues, homelessness, crime rates, public safety, resource access, all of these different things that affect our quality of life, because Salt Lake County really is the primary driver of quality of life.
Thank you. We should mention your background. You are an attorney, right? And worked with Orrin Hatch as a law clerk in the Senate Finance Committee. And so thank you both for being here. Aaron Ryder running for county mayor, and Sheila Srivastava.
Woohoo! Yes,
running
thank
for
you.
county assessor. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
And we're running out of time for candidates, but get a hold of Katie if we can fit you in and it makes sense. We'll try. Just email radiofromhell@x96.com.
All right.
Thank
you both.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
All right. We will take a break, play a song, and crawl towards the exits coming up. Larson, HVAC, and Plumbing.
They're going to be at my house in 15 minutes.
Oh, you better go.
Oh, what are you having them do?
They would just need to clean some stuff up and retune a couple of things. Larson, locally owned and operated by Sean and his family since 2017. You can find out about them, larsonhvac.com/x96. Without a doubt, my furnace is now starting to come on a little occasionally.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to get colder. And so you
don't want to get in the depths of winter before you realize something's wrong. Have Larson come out and do a check of your furnace system. Or if you have plumbing issues, we've all had them at our house for those as well.
Right now they have a special on their VIP plans for X96 listeners. Get both of your annual tune-ups, priority scheduling, 10% off all repairs, services or replacements, and a whole bunch of other benefits for just $196 a year. It's the easiest way to make sure everything is worry-free. They've even teamed up with our friends at Zero Res with more specials on the way to help you. Visit larsonhvac.com/x96 for details or mention X96 when you call them 801-930. phone store yesterday because there was a little icon on my phone that I didn't know exactly what it meant.
Oh.
I hadn't seen it before, and so I thought something might be wrong with my phone. And I go in there, and I was only there for 5 minutes because the person who helped me was very knowledgeable.
Was helpful.
And went, oh, this and this. Oh, look, here's what it is. For some reason you're mobile. It's like, there. Now it's gone. Here, fine. And but the person who helped me, her name was Heaven. And I said, is that your real name, Heaven? Is that your real? Yes, it is. And I would have liked to have chatted with her a bit more about that name. Well, why did why did your parents name you that? And has it caused you any problems?
Why would you think it would cause her problems?
It's because it's so lofty. It's unusual and it's lofty, and it's the kind of thing that a lot of kids would make fun of because kids will make fun of almost anything.
Just about anything, yeah.
My mother's name, Nola. Her parents, my grandparents, named her that because they were looking for a name they didn't think kids would make fun of at the time. It didn't work. No, it didn't work. But that was a specific thought in their mind.
Yeah.
We want to give her a name that nobody will make fun of.
Yeah.
But I didn't get. I'd like to. I wonder if it causes her any problems.
It's my parents' favorite Talking Head song.
I mean, I can think of other names that would give you more problems than Heaven.
More like hell.
Like Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
That's
Yeah.
Jermaine Jackson.
No, yeah, except if you're part of the Jackson family, nobody's going to give you crap
I guess
about
probably
that.
not.
It makes sense when.
There are a lot of people named Nevaeh.
Nevaeh, yeah.
Which is heaven spelled backwards.
Oh.
That's
I didn't
what
know
that
that.
is.
Nevaeh.
Yeah.
Ah.
So.
And Prem is MERP spelled backwards. I
don't know. Doesn't help.
I'm going to name my
way.
kid Prem.
This is a good reminder, though. We love to help you with baby names because we will run through all of the negative things that could possibly come from naming your child something. Or sometimes we have people that say that the parents are arguing about the name, and we'll help break the tie.
We'll help break the tie.
You can just email us your baby names, radiofromhell@x96.com.
No, I liked that name, Heaven. I thought
I think it's a great
that's
name.
Delightful. Yeah. That's charming. It's sweet. But maybe you could name somebody Afterlife.
Well, that's not a good name.
No,
Heaven's a good name. But
what are other words for heaven?
Paradise.
Yeah, paradise.
The Andorian term is unpronounceable.
How about
to the Klingons? It's Vortavor.
Celestial Kingdom.
No, that's too long.
Just celestial.
Third-eye blind.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was so upset.
Why?
Before we get to the promo here. So yesterday, the New York Times came. I get the Sunday Times, the actual paper, and inside there was an insert. It's a magazine almost about watches, and they do this I think once a year. It's all these expensive watches.
Well, it's just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, and you can look through it and all, and I like watches a lot, and so I sort of look through it and drool over all these watches that I could never afford. And there are little articles about them and things like that. But on the cover of this magazine, and it's glossy, it's a glossy magazine, 40 pages probably. On the cover is a picture of a sailing vessel. This woman is standing there, and she's working the rigging of and it's about those kind of nautical watches and everything. And she's working the rigging, and she's wearing a really nice looking outfit, and she's obviously a model, but she's pulling on the rigging. She's not wearing a damn watch. What? Everybody else in that magazine is wearing a watch.
It's so you can shop for a watch for her. Buy this woman a watch.
She doesn't have a watch.
I'm telling you, she does not need me to buy her a watch.
Poor, underprivileged woman who is forced to take a job on sailing.
No.
Can't afford a watch.
No, Carrie, she's probably wearing a $600 outfit. I'm thinking I'm not the only person who went, that woman is not wearing a watch.
They could have tried photoshopping one on her.
Yeah,
at least.
something.
I mean,
This pisses me off.
They could have tried.
God, there's some nice watches in there. Excuse me, chronographs.
Ugh.
There's some beautiful chronographs.
You can't call them watches?
Of course not, Gina. I wore my Space Ghost chronograph today.
You can.
See.
You can call them watches. That's all right. This is a Timex. I have a Timex. This is a really cool watch, though. It's a perpetual calendar Timex watch, which means that you never have to, well, unless when the battery dies, you have to. But it shows the date and the day, and you don't have to readjust it. Most watches you have to, there's 30 days in this month.
How does it know on a leap day?
I don't know. I have no idea how it knows. What I do know is that when the battery runs out, you have to be able to reset the perpetual feature, and it's just about impossible to do. The best way to do it is to send it into the company, and they do it for you.
Well, that sounds like a gigantic pain.
It is. It's a huge pain in the ass.
Mine has Space Ghost on it. And when it runs out, I take it to the wash shop, and they put a new battery
Mount
on.
Olympus?
Yes.
Yeah.
The watchman.
The watch guy.
Make it go.
Make my watch go. All right, let's do the promo and crawl toward the exits.
Tuesday's Radio from Hell show goes something like this.
Farting around right out of the gate at 6, followed by news and Frank Christ Presents.
Beat Gina, boner of the day.
Bill, you forgot Utah word of the day.
Forgot or skipped on purpose.
Yeah, we are contractually obligated to do Utah word of the day.
Radio from Hell, fulfilling our contract Tuesday mornings here on X96. There we go. I think we're good. Fine job as always, Katie. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
If you really love me, you'd give me your belly button.
Mm-hmm. Artie Pupkin is next.
Artie Fuck.